to Horror Hangout, a podcast where three bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with a K. I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
Ben Errington.
And not semi-regular, but regular enough to be on the he's in the X-Men, but he doesn't show up in all of the comics.
It's
Jubilee. A return. Yeah, Jubilee. John Crinnan. How's it going?
Oh, it's going so good, guys. Thank you for having me. It is good to be back.
Welcome.
And to be a returning guest.
Not just a returning guest. Sorry, we're all going for it there. Not just a returning guest, but also horror quiz champion.
Oh yeah.
I'm still riding that wave of glory ever since, from December or whenever.
What did your mum and dad say when you called them about it?
They were so proud. So proud. I'm still waiting on my trophy arriving, however, guys, I don't want to call you out publicly, but where is it? Yeah.
Lost
in. Yeah, it was coming from Europe, and because of Brexit, shipping's gone a bit crazy.
That's the and it's made of chocolate as well, so it's probably smushed. Definitely.
Most presents that we give to people are probably smushed.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, how's everyone doing? Everyone okay?
Yeah. All right.
Good.
Today is officially 1 year since the first UK lockdown. Does everyone feel like they've aged a year? Have they aged 2 years?
Okay.
Maybe you've just aged 6 months.
Actually, in 1 minute, we're all supposed to be silent. I think for 8 o'clock. There's something happening.
I mean, that's not going to make good podcast listening, though, is it?
No.
No,
we won't do it.
I'll be silent. Can I be silent in spirit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't judge me for not doing it.
Oh, I won't.
I've sort of everyone's lost the last year, but I have to completely change how I calculate time frames in my head. I keep on talking to people and realizing that I haven't seen them for a year and 6 months, whereas my brain's just telling me, oh, we saw each other 6 months ago. Oh no, I've got to add on 2020. So I definitely have aged probably a decade in the last year. But I don't know where it is.
Who probably has similar issues. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
it's crazy. It's a nice time to just stay inside and watch films this past year.
Yeah, I hope that when things eventually go back to normal, I know everyone says that and you're probably sick of hearing it, but I hope it's not going to affect the time that I do want to stay in and watch films, because that was a significant part of my life already. I hope that I've not lost the magic. Now that if we're allowed back out into the world, I'm sure it won't have.
That's an interesting point, though. I think we probably all have changed in ways that we don't realize we have, and we're not going to until we try and return to a new normal. We might have new hobbies, or we might not have time for some of the shit that we were doing before, and we literally have no idea what kind of people we are now until we go back into the world, because we've just been in our little caves for so long. That's genuinely how I feel. Yeah. So I'm excited to meet the new me.
I think everyone's going to be far more touchy-feely. It's going to be a constant shunting in town. Everyone's just holding onto each other's hands, putting hands up and in things, waving things about, smushing presents.
Yeah. Everyone's going to be going out there trying to mate, just like the character in the film that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
We're just going to have babies on the brain.
Man,
I
don't know
this film, yeah, that's a good one. I was about to say this film, man, but we didn't start a review yet. That's not how the show goes.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to jump ahead, but it was too good a link to me.
Too good an opportunity, yeah. What have we got? Horror news? I got some.
Horror news.
You asked for it. I'm going to give it to you. Got 2 pieces of horror news based on the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Yes, there's going to be one. Producer Fede Alvarez. So it's going to be an old man Leatherface movie, apparently. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Leatherface, he's collecting his pension. He's got creaky old bones. What else do old people enjoy? Jigsaw puzzles. He's just doing all that stuff, but he's still doing a load of murders So that's what this is about.
Yeah.
And also apparently the character of Sally Hardesty, who is the lone survivor from the original, right? Not just
I don't know her name, but there
Possibly.
was
Sounds about
one
right.
survivor.
possibly.
Yeah.
But they've cast a woman named
Oh,
Olwen Foere, who is in Mandy, the older sort of white-haired woman in it. She's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
back. She's
Yeah.
coming back as Sally. So yeah, returning character. I don't think she's been in the franchise at all after the first one, so that'd be interesting.
Texas Chainsaw is not a franchise I know much about at all. I don't think I've even seen number 2, which I hear is fantastic.
The second one is good, and I'm thinking back to the first one because the first one had the old man
Yeah.
like at the head
I
of
hope
the
he's still
table. And
alive.
don't they have a? Well, I'm thinking if it's going to be old man Leatherface, he's going to maybe take on that sort of role in the movie,
Yeah.
which might be quite interesting. Because am I misremembering it and thinking about another movie? But there's like a scene where they're trying to get him to grip like a hammer, and he can't.
Yeah.
He can't even hold that. Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't heard this news at all.
If
Yeah,
he's still alive, he's going to be like Prince Philip. He's just going to be just. Yeah, he's just going to be gone. Yeah, I think I've seen most of the films in this franchise, even the new ones like the beginning, and they did a reboot, and then I think the most recent one, which I think is just called Leatherface, I didn't see. But yeah, always interested to see more. I think you just with franchises like this, you just hold out for what is essentially, possibly, hopefully, going to be a really good one, and then I know they keep disappointing, but you know.
Leatherface is
Always
so
look forward to it.
Yeah,
Go on,
Leatherface
sorry,
is
John.
so iconic that. Well, I was just saying that Leatherface is so iconic. I think most horror fans have a lot of time for maybe that character and will probably give it a try. I said there was one, I can't remember which one it's called because there's quite a few, but the Alexandra Daddario, and anyone who's listened to me on any other podcast knows that I have a bit of a thing for her, but that's quite a good one. I enjoyed it.
A woman.
Who?
Yeah.
Is that the actress who's in
True
Baywatch.
Detective.
Cool.
True
Yeah.
Detective, did you say?
I was gonna say San Andreas. Is that right? Isn't she like?
Oh, is she in San Andreas?
Yeah, I don't know. That's an awful.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I
but
think
she's in
she
the
is.
Baywatch movie as well.
That was Dwayne The Rock Johnson that you're thinking of.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Daddario. Daddario is a fantastic surname. She's 35 years old. She looks considerably younger than that. There we go. Anyway,
There's our minute silence right there.
I'm getting absolutely baffled by people's ages lately. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast already. I think it's because I'm like in my mid-30s now, and now people's ages, because I'm like bang in the middle of like people in their early 20s and like, I don't know, late 40s. I just feel really confused when I find out how old people are. When I'm like, but I was young when you were the same age as me, was I not? It's like footballers retiring just freaks me out. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
don't like it. I do not like it. That's a real life horror for you. Anyway, also horror news. Don't know if you've seen a film released this week on Shudder called Slaxx. Slaxx. It's about a pair of killer jeans. Yeah, I saw the trailer for it and I was like, I'm gonna watch that. There's the producers of that Turbo Kid movie from a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's like a horror comedy. It's on Shudder now. A possessed pair of jeans is brought to life to punish the unscrupulous practices of a trendy clothing company. Shipped to the company's flagship store, Slaxx proceeds to... the jeans have got a name. Slaxx proceeds to wreak carnage on staff locked in overnight to set up the new collection. So, you know, it sounds like it might be a cross between Rubber and... what else?
I'd be interested to know how kind of crazy they go with it.
Just remember that me and Luke have watched and reviewed a film about a killer dress in fabric on this show.
Yeah.
Very different, though. I'm assuming it wasn't a horror comedy at all. But who would win between a killer dress and killer jeans?
Well, I'm not even too sure. I can't remember what happened in Fabric. It kind of was less about the dress after the first little segment, right?
The dress was very
witches.
floaty. The dress was very floaty, and I feel like the jeans could get.
Denims are more durable, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going with the jeans. My money's on the jeans. Yeah. I haven't seen either. Well, obviously, I haven't seen Slaxx, but I haven't seen In Fabric either. There's a horror novel about killer secondhand clothes as well, which was pretty great, called Ghost Virus, which I have read by Graham Masterton.
Oh wow!
But I'm gonna have to check out In Fabric and Slacks. Slacks sounds right up my street. I'm in already. Killer jeans. I'm there.
Sold. I wonder what kind of jeans they are. Boot cut, I reckon. They got to be boot cut. They'll get some real force behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. What flares?
Here's
Probably
another thing. Here's another thing that's making me feel terribly old in my mid-30s. Apparently, skinny jeans aren't really cool anymore.
What?
Yeah, what? Apparently, there's a whole thing about like skinny jeans getting slated by the current generation of youngsters.
What do people wear now then?
Yeah, what is cool? Please tell us so that we can.
I definitely don't know, and I knew what was cool. I knew what was cool, and then they changed what it was, and now I have no idea. Simpsons quote. What else we got? Last thing. So yesterday, Resident Evil turned 25, the gaming franchise.
Wow.
And what was nice is that they also released the first image from the new movie and what the new movie is going to be called. So it's going to be called Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. And the image they released was like an image of the sign, the Welcome to Raccoon City, Home of Umbrella sign, which looks exactly the same as the game. And I did watch a little interview with the director, Johannes Roberts, as well. And he says it's inspired heavily by John Carpenter movies Assault on Precinct 13 and The Fog. And it's kind of like an ensemble piece as well, like taking place.
It's this guy, Strangers Prey at Night guy.
Yeah, and 47 meters down, I believe.
Yeah,
I think both of them. So apparently it's going to be like a ensemble piece taking place at the same time as the first and the second games in the mansion and the police station side by side. So I think they're going to say that the outbreaks happening simultaneously. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. A completely different take, I guess, as well on the story, and all of the characters who have been cast so far, all the actors who've been cast as the characters so far, are all the big hitters from the game. So fingers crossed.
It'll be interesting. I mean, could you translate the exact tone of those early games into film and have it be successful? I'm not too sure.
I think it would be tough, as obviously in 7 movies they've sort of struggled, but they've got a couple of bits and bobs in the movies kind of worked. And I did recently rewatch 3 of the feature-length animated films as well, and there are bits in it there which they do capture the atmosphere, particularly the 3rd animated film. They do capture the atmosphere pretty well. So I've got high hopes, and yeah, it's crazy to think it's been 25 years since that first game now. Crazy. I'm just me getting freaked out by lengths of time again. 25 years, how long? Oh, God. Oh, no. Yeah, that's pretty cool and exciting. Looking forward to that. That's all I've got for horror news, unless you guys have seen anything else this week. What's been going down?
Not me, to be honest. What about you, John?
I'm a little bit out of the loop. I'm just learning about Slacks now and haven't seen the Resident Evil first screenshot. So, yeah. No, I don't have anything really either.
Yeah. I'll be honest, this week has been kind of taken over by DC film stuff for me. I didn't intend it to go this way, but it's pretty much all I've done is just watch DC movies. Because the whole, the Snyder Cut thing came out. And I've never watched any of them, really. I think, Batman v Superman, I was like, I'm just not into this at all. And then didn't watch any. And then this week, I've watched Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut, Shazam, Aquaman, and Snyder Cut. And I've read a load of DC comics as well. That's kind of been my life.
You've been on it.
I don't know why. I need help.
And how do you feel now after all of that? Do you feel jaded? Do you feel reinvigorated? Do you feel wet? Wet like Aquaman, that's what I mean.
Have you seen Aquaman?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Well, that's a weird movie. It's a gonzo adventure movie. It's got some cool visuals and a couple of moments, but it's cheesy, like in not the right ways.
I think I mentioned when you were talking about it, it's very Power Rangers, isn't it?
Yeah. Shazam as well, but I think Shazam is a bit more fun. It's a bit easier to, because it's like a kids movie. I mean, if I was like 13, if I was if I was me back when I watched Power Rangers the movie, Shazam would have been like absolutely bob on. Yeah.
I think I remember quite liking Shazam and Aquaman. I didn't really like Batman versus Superman, but if watching the ultimate cut is the way to go, then maybe I'll do that.
I actually quite like the Ultimate Cut. It's not great, and there's still points where I just go like, it's just, why do you have to say something so cheesy? You didn't need to happen. It's just a little bit too. I don't know. There's some thing
It's
in that
basically
tone that doesn't quite work.
the movie's just about Bruce Wayne's fear of immigrants, isn't it? He's gone, "You've come from where? You're doing what? Get out of it!" It's like,
Yeah.
deep. He's just a bigot, essentially, Bruce. It's really strange, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because we're going to talk about Justice League in a minute. The character of Batman and the character of Bruce Wayne seem so different, obviously in tone, but it seems like he's just gone, "Oh, I'm going to stop mucking about being so grim."
Yeah.
And
In the Snyder Cut, you mean?
yeah,
Or...
I mean, not have a
Yeah.
bit of a laugh, but he just seems a bit more personable, doesn't he? He seems a bit more like, I'll make some friends.
I think he hasn't, like, I mean, again, I'm kind of jumping ahead just to actual Justice League, because I, like you, look, I checked out of the DC cinematic universe, or whatever it's called, at Batman versus Superman. I had the worst experience of seeing that in the cinema. It was really hot. The film was terrible. I just hated it so much, mostly because of the environment, probably. So I'm interested to hear that there's another cut that I should maybe check out. But I literally haven't seen any other DC movie since. So the one that I was kind of queuing up to watch was Suicide Squad, because I'm a big James Gunn fan. And I feel like I need to see. But I feel like I need to see the first one before I see his one. But
I will say, I mean, the hype of these movies really does get to me, and Batman vs Superman was a huge disappointment for me. Suicide Squad, just insanely bad. Even more so, more of a disappointment. Like,
just
I can't even put it into
let
words.
listeners know, we're probably just going to dip into spoilers here. So if you do want to watch Justice League or any of these films that we're talking about, maybe just press the 30-second forward button on your podcast app.
30 seconds.
Skip forward a bit.
Maybe a bit longer.
Yeah.
just get to the end of the episode, mate. Just do us all a favor.
Oh yeah, and species. And that's the show. Yeah. I mean, so Batman v Superman. When I went to watch it in cinema, I was so disappointed. I just felt naff. Like, it didn't work. Like, nothing came together properly. The Ultimate Cut is a lot better. It kind of, in the same way, I imagine the Justice League Snyder Cut is better than the Justice League Whedon Cut, which I've not seen. There's stuff that doesn't quite make sense, but given a bit more time, he kind of edits things he smooths holes over a bit. But then there's still moments, like straight after they both realize their mum's called Martha, they're like best mates. Within half a second, they were literally about to kill each other.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because it's the most picked apart moment of that film. Like, all these years later, 5 years later, it's all anyone talks about with that film. So I've watched Zack Snyder try to explain himself when it comes to that and what it was supposed to mean, and I completely understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, it is lame.
I don't mind it. I can imagine that being in a comic, that moment, but it's just that instant transition 100%. With them going, "I'll go save your mum. Your mum's going to survive. I got your back, Broseph. Want a bum?"
It's pretty nuts. So we all enjoyed 4 hours of Zack Snyder's Justice League this week.
So curious to see what John will give. See his face.
Let me just put something into perspective here. Like, I genuinely love a Watchmen movie. Whoa, man! Jesus,
Excuse
that
me.
Batman turning up in his Batmobile outside. He's gonna fuck you up. No, my name's Martha. My mum's name's Martha. I love Watchmen. Genuinely, Watchmen's one of my favorite films. So you'd think like big superhero. Oh no, it's a completely different film, of course. Lots of different themes and other stuff. Lots of slow-mo. So that's where Watchmen's one of my favorite films. I love Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. What's he done? 300?
Yeah.
Love that. These are all like films that I watch all the time.
Sucker Punch.
didn't. But then Sucker Punch and Batman vs Superman, I was the complete opposite on. Like, really didn't enjoy. So that's where I stand.
Yeah, I will like Zack Snyder is very capable of making a good movie. I think 300 is a phenomenal movie. I'm not quite as big a fan of Watchmen, but that's all right. I haven't seen Sucker Punch, and I haven't seen anything like I said, after Batman v Superman, I didn't see any DC movies at all. So I hadn't seen any of the Wonder Womans, haven't seen Shazam, Suicide Squad, whatever else has come out. I'm definitely more a Marvel fan anyway, but that's where I was coming into Justice League. So I hadn't seen the Whedon cut, and to be honest, I was completely uninterested in the Snyder cut, and I just, my bubble, my COVID bubble, we're going to sit down and watch it on Saturday night, and what else am I going to do? So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come along and watch it, and. I'm building up
I can
to
tell.
basically saying, because Luke thinks he knows what my opinion of it is, but actually, I've had a couple of days since I first spoke to you, Luke, about it.
Yeah.
And I have, for a 4-hour movie that I expected to be just a constant slog and just like really miserable, I thought it was quite pacey. I thought I wasn't bored. I watched it and enjoyed it. And luckily, the person that I was watching it with had seen the other movie, so there was a couple of moments when I was saying, has this box been set up in another? Like, I didn't understand. I was being one of those people, but I got a couple of answers. But
Super Who?
Yeah. But honestly, like, I kind of maybe enjoyed it, which is really crazy to say for a movie that long. And we just watched it in one, no breaks. We just sat down and watched it, and it kind of zipped by, quite honestly, until the last the epilogue bit, which I think
the epilogue
problems with.
Yeah,
but
I remember getting the 2 hours in and thinking, "Whoa, that 2 hours went by insanely quick." It's very breezy, a breezy 4-hour movie.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely zips by. I mean, I watched it in 2 sittings. Because I think I put it on too late the first time, and luckily it's split into parts, isn't it? So it's quite easy to just turn it off at a particular time. Because I think originally when there was talk of the Snyder Cut, it was like, oh, it's going to be 10-hour-long episodes, and I was like, what? But yeah, I've seen the Whedon cut, and at the time I think I was a bit like, yeah, I mean, it's all right. But I think as more and more times got past, the more like dissatisfied and like frustrated I was with what we did get from that version. I never ever thought the Snyder Cut would see the light of day. I was convinced it would never happen, and I think I said it a lot. I said it's never gonna happen ever. Like, go release the Snyder Cut. Stop tweeting it. It'll never ever happen. Happy to be proven wrong, because it did. Just seems like Zack. It feels like he's completely unrestricted, and he's able to deliver his vision in its purest form. And it's weird that that's been allowed to happen in a way, because I mean, you always hear horror stories about studio involvement and everything, and how all the things they vetoed from the 2017 version and all the things that suddenly made it into this version. So in a way, it's like a bit of a miracle. It sounds ridiculous, but it is like a miracle that we get to see it in this form. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't like it to set a precedent for failed blockbusters going forward, because I think it's a dangerous precedent to set. But I also think that this is probably a one-off, and it's a fair outcome for what was clearly a very complicated scenario, where obviously Zack Snyder tragically lost his daughter, then he had to go away, and his vision kind of got chopped up and, put through the mill, and so many people wanted this and Whedon wanted that, and actors weren't happy. So it feels like it's quite a unique scenario that, if films are going to be critically panned, they're not going to go away and come back with a 3-hour, 4-hour supercut of stuff just to try and bypass that. I'd hope not, at least. But yeah, I think overall, I've seen all the DC movies and enjoyed some, not enjoyed others. But I think overall, this feels like a very, what word am I thinking? A very fun, enjoyable, decent, or awful words to describe it. But Whereas with Justice League, I was like, it's all right. And then I think over time, I was like, no, it's not. Now I kind of feel like that was great. The
My
best version we
expectations
could
are
have got.
so low that I'm just pretty happy. I was just shocked by how much I really enjoyed it, and I'm kind of looking forward to watching it again. Weirdly, at some point, I'll skip through some bits, I think, but I liked seeing what did Steppenwolf calls them? No lanterns. I like the way he said no lanterns, so I'll watch that bit again.
Yeah,
Just
no
that.
lanterns. They've got no lanterns.
No lanterns.
super blokes.
I liked his face actually. Steppenwolf, he had that kind of kicked puppy face, which I just
Angry
wanted
cat
to
face, yeah.
snuggle. Yeah.
I liked his armor. It's kind of movie, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, he like a cat as well. Like he kind of his hackles kind of went up when he saw a cucumber. Like a cat. He's an interesting character. I really like that. I mean, I'd probably give it. I mean, it's not a great movie, I've got to say, but I just fun. It definitely captures of any DC movie I've seen so far. What I think when I think about the DC vibe, the flavor of gods, the super gods kind of Grant Morrison vibe, that is does kind of capture that essence to me anyway. Although I've not read that much DC comics, so I'm not an expert.
The whole gods thing and the fact that everyone is a god is one of the things I was going to bring up earlier when Ben was talking about Batman and this change of character, because you realize suddenly when he's in a movie like that, he really feels useless in Justice League. I think like he doesn't. Yeah. They make a joke about it because what's your superpower? Oh, I'm rich. But even in the final battle, like he is literally just shooting down those he's just shooting parademons down, and he doesn't do anything else against Steppenwolf. So that was a little bit of a criticism, just because when you've got like mismatched team in that way, it felt like he was a little bit underutilized. And another thing that you said, Ben, as well, I really don't want to see this setting a precedent for what is essentially people on Twitter are now just calling for.
Well, they're saying release the Ayer cut now, right? Aren't they?
Yeah.
What's that?
Now they want David Ayer to do a cut of Justice League. Who next?
We should just give every director in Hollywood a chance to recut Justice League only, not their own movie.
That's the message that Warner Brothers get from it. Go on, then you have a go.
What? I'm not even a director.
It's like at the top of a water slide. It's like a light system. Go on. Next. Yeah.
But I also think like characters like Cyborg and Flash got a lot more attention than the theatrical cut. And also, like, talking about the final battle again, it actually felt like there were stakes to the final battle this time. Whereas I think the final battle before was like, I mean, we all know what's going to happen. But where this time, obviously, Flash having a very key thing to do in there as well, which wasn't in the theatrical cut. So I was like, well, this is, I fully understand what's happening here. And also I feel like it wasn't just the stuff they added, it was the stuff they took away as well. So I felt like there were a lot of bad gags and like iffy lines from the first one that have just completely gone. And I think that's really good. The fact that they have just gone, get rid of that. But there's a line where Superman picks up Batman with his weird CGI top lip, because obviously he had a mustache while filming the Mission Impossible movie. So it looks like they stuck a bit of plasticine over the top of it. Skin-colored plasticine over his top lip. But there's a bit where he says to Batman, "Do you bleed?" And it's like, well, fuck, of course he does. I know it's a callback to Batman versus Superman, but he says that and then throws him. That line's completely gone. There were a couple of weird, jokey lines between Cyborg and Flash, which are a bit naff. Gone completely. So, yeah. I like it.
You think my sense of humor, I would love those kind of bad jokes, but they're like kryptonite. I hate them. I really hate. So I'm glad they're all gone.
Yeah. What did everyone make of the hot dog scene?
Oh yeah,
I could not believe what I was seeing when the hot dogs were flying through the air.
It's like a
but it paid
seed in like slow motion, made in Blender.
It's just like so Zack Snyder. I couldn't believe it, and I was saying it out loud because like it wasn't this. I'm generally quite focused when I'm watching a movie and not chatting, but this one is just, this is a total beers and pizza movie for sure, if ever there was one. And we were chatting away through it, and I just, as soon as I saw the car crash happen and it hit the hot dog stand and I started seeing those hot dogs floating through the air, I had my head in my hands. I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. We're dedicating about a minute of screen time to floating hot dogs. And then it paid off in a really great way. I was like, I was so wrong. I was so wrong.
That was someone's job. Someone's job was that for like a day. What are you doing? I'm animating the little sesame seeds. What are you doing? What did you think of the epilogue / nightmare sequence? Obviously, we saw some of that in Batman versus Superman, which, I mean, again, I think it's got a lot of potential. How it was necessarily displayed in this version wasn't particularly interesting, but I do think it's got a lot of potential. I would like to see I probably won't. None of us will see like a feature length version of that as a sequel. I think could be quite interesting. But
they could do a comic spin-off, like they did with the Injustice games. They had the comics that were actually really good.
Very similar.
I remember them being really fun. I mean,
similar.
it is the same thing. Just read the Injustice comic books.
Yeah.
But
how did you feel about it? I mean, it was obviously a random group, but it's quite cool to see Deathstroke. You know, glad that he got something other than the end credit sequence, which was sort of put into this epilogue thing.
I don't think it needs to be there, to be honest. I don't think the Martian Manhunter stuff needs to be there. I don't think there's a lot of stuff that could have been. Even though it's 4 hours, I understand he was like, "This is my last chance. What else am I going to do with this footage?"
Yeah,
I mean, just whop it all into the cut and get it on.
Fair play to go. Let's give Jared Leto another crack of the whip. But I mean, he's not doing anything just that different to what he did in Suicide Squad, really, is he? Although apparently the reach around line was ad-libbed, I heard.
Oh yeah, that was that was really painful. I cringed.
I thought Batman swearing was painful. I don't know. It seemed weird.
I didn't quite understand. I wanted something like him saying he was going to kill Joker. I'm like, well, you've brought him along now. There must be a reason why you've brought him along. I will be honest though, like, despite the fact Batman swearing was a bit cringe, the reach around line was a bit cringe, there is a line and there is a moment that actually gave me goosebumps, which was when he said, Batman, I love you, touch me, give you a reach around. Is when he said, I'd be willing to discuss with you why you sent a boy wonder to do a man's job. And then that focus pull as he did it, and he was so serious. And I was like, I want to see that. I love the fact that they have called back to some history that we haven't seen on screen between Batman, Joker, and Robin, and the fact that Robin's dead and Joker killed him, and we saw that suit with the graffiti all over it in Batman vs Superman. I'd love to see that because I just felt it like there, something I hadn't seen on film, and all that history. I just kept thinking, I'd just love to see that.
Has Zack Snyder already said that he's not doing more, or because I'm going to guess from the reception that he will have the opportunity to make more if he wants to?
I've saw Warner Bros say no. Like in an interview,
really?
There was like with the executive. She was like, we're happy with being able to let him finish his trilogy, but we don't want to be doing social media led films or something along those lines.
I mean,
but I think that maybe came out just before he kind of hit, so maybe they've changed their minds. I don't know.
I guess it's a difficult film because it doesn't really translate to ticket sales. So maybe it is a little bit difficult to, forecast sequel potential if it's just going on to streaming sites, but even though they have their own way of counting numbers.
I'll just say it's made me. I think the reason I've gone back to all these other DC movies I haven't seen is because it's given me a bit of hope, because I really did not like the DC Cinematic Universe stuff at all, really. But the Suicide Squad, James Gunn, I'll watch anything that James Gunn does, and him doing the Suicide Squad seems perfect to me. There's something about that. If he gets like the super vibe, he gets that sort of that kind of dark black comedy humor in there, it'd be good. And I'm really excited about Matt Reeves. Has watched all the Planet of the Apes movies recently, so I'm big on Matt Reeves at the moment. Really excited to see his Batman, and just to see this Justice League film which is cool. I'm just enjoying seeing more of that universe on screen at the minute.
I think if you're a DC fan and you really didn't enjoy Justice League, like, you're pretty lucky. The fact that we get another bite of the cherry, is that a thing?
Okay? Imagine we didn't get Avengers.
It is now.
I mean, I remember when we first got Spider-Man on screen. And it was amazing. Now we've had him so much, it's like another Spider-Man movie. Fucking hell! I don't know. I think we are very spoiled as like growing up as comic book fans. Like to see a DC animated universe film, but in an actual live screen film. That's pretty cool. I think we've got to kind of remember that it is
Like-
cool, even as bad as it might be at times.
It's like going to an all-you-can-eat buffet and like being
Yeah.
pretty full after 3 or 4 big plates, and then when they wheel out the dessert, and you're
You're
like,
you're like, I'm so painful. Chocolate fountain.
chocolate fountain, mate. Put your head in it.
Yeah.
Everyone lick it off.
Whee!
Post-COVID. That's what we're gonna do post-COVID. Lick me
Yeah.
head.
All right, yeah, I think it was probably about it for the DC talk, unless anyone else wants to
Well,
cap it off.
I don't really have anything to top it off, but I realized as we were talking about other movies in the extended universe that I had seen and enjoyed Birds of Prey. I thought that was great.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, that's good.
I quite liked a lot of that as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone see anything else this week?
The only other thing I saw, which I just watched last night, was just a short film, which is on YouTube. It's called Don't Peek, and it's based around Animal Crossing, the game.
I saw this pop up, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that can't be scary, can it? Yeah, it's pretty scary. And apparently, it's been picked up to be adapted into a feature as well. So, I mean, it does sort of. It's a bit cliche in places, but yeah, still was good. I recommend it. Just check that out, and if we're gonna see more from that, then great.
Cool.
Apart from Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier on
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
Plus,
Oh, yeah.
which was the other big release this week. I watched a movie called Righting Wrongs. It's like an 80s martial arts movie.
Lovely.
I absolutely loved it. It's one of the best films I've seen probably this year. It's just about a lawyer who sort of takes the law into his own hands, a prosecutor, but it's completely over the top, completely ridiculous, and the fact that it's got that kind of classic vibe from 1980s martial arts movies where it's not a Jackie Chan movie, but you know that's the kind of thing that I was my gateway into this genre. And just watching the crazy fight scenes and some of the crazy stunts that you just know that people actually did is phenomenal. It's an amazing movie. It's instantly rocketed to one of my favorites. It's called Righting Wrongs.
I'm just looking at it now.
It's
good.
so good. It's so good.
Righting Wrongs. Cool. I'll check that out.
Cool. Anything else, Luke? You seen anything else?
On Netflix for our little movie night, we watched #Alive, which is it's like a modern day zombie survival thing. I think it's a Korean film. Hang on, not too sure now. It's about a guy who is playing games, playing World of Warcraft and that kind of thing, and then there's like a zombie apocalypse around him, and it's pretty by the numbers. It's like a apartment complex, and then across the apartment there's a girl, and it's those two kind of surviving together. But I guess that the USP, the unique selling point, is that he has a drone. So he kind of has this remote controlled drone. So it's got a bit more sort of technology stuff going on, but it's quite good. I mean, it's basically a zombie apocalypse, but there's some technology, modern day technology involved.
He's got a drone, isn't he? He's got a drone. What's he doing with it? Flying it about.
He's got a phone as well.
Oh, drone and a phone.
Yeah, and yeah, it's all right. I mean, I'd give it a solid 3 out of 5.
And 5.
Oh, I didn't rate Righting Wrongs. Should I rate? I would give that like a 4, maybe a 4.5 out of 5. That's how much I loved it. We didn't rate Justice League either. I don't know what everyone's ratings was for that.
I don't even know what my rating for which bit, which half.
Yeah,
Which
it's difficult
hour?
to rate the whole
Oh,
thing.
okay. Which episode? Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually kind of leaning towards a strong 3, almost a 4. I think for me.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
almost a 4.
Yeah, yeah, I think mine's a high 3, almost a 4. It might take some time to process it. I might not think. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think with Justice League, I look back at my reviews, and Justice League I'd given like 3.5 stars, and I went back to it, and I was like, I definitely don't feel that way now. So
Yeah. And if you gave that one
star up that.
3.5 stars, you've got to go higher.
Yeah.
I was at the teetering at the 3, and I was like, no lanterns. 3.9.
No lanterns. Steppenwolf looks like a little angry dog. 5 stars.
I think I was unnecessarily harsh or unfairly harsh because I logged it on Letterboxd just after watching it and I gave it 2.5. And now I feel like that was too low. I would give it a solid 3 now.
Plenty
With
of
a little
time
bit
to
of
change that.
Yeah, a little bit of time
Change it now,
between.
Joe. Go and change it now.
All right, see you guys.
Over.
Yeah, and then I watched Species, which I watched last night. When did you guys watch it?
Sunday
Not
night
last
for me.
night.
It's soon. Soon. I'll watch it soon.
I'll watch it soon. I'm watching it right now, Luke. I've got it a little screen on. Sunday night, I think I watched it, yeah. So Species is a 1995 American science fiction horror film directed by Roger Donaldson, starring Natasha Henstridge in her film debut role, and then also starring bloody everyone. Ben Kingsley, Michael Madsen, Alfred Molina, Forrest Whitaker, Marge Helgenberger. A group of scientists try to track down and trap a killer alien seductress before she successfully mates with a human.
Nice. Okay, so this one, we got 5.8 on IMDb, 43% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 31% user score, so it's even lower. Letterboxd is 2.6. The Letterboxd reviews, the ones that I found, they're all quite terse, should we say. So the first one, Kayano, put 10 out of 10. 5 stars. So I don't know what the ha was all about. Like, sure, if you liked it that much, you wouldn't put what you're laughing about. It's like there's something. It's like an extra something there. Chari, put this movie introduces me to female fatale but alien. 5 stars. How's it hanging, fellas? Put perfect sci-fi, intelligent, non-typical choices for almost everything. Michael Madsen is fucking the best dude. I don't think he is. 5 stars.
He's fucking the best dude. That's a woman.
Yeah, that's Natasha Henstridge. I think you get them mixed up.
Nah, he don't go anywhere near Natasha Henstridge. He's got his eye on what's her name?
No,
On
Natasha
Mark.
Henstridge is with Molino, whatever his name is.
Yeah, don't get mixed up. I was thinking of Marge Helgenberger, who's got like a very 90s hairstyle.
I thought for a moment that she was the girl from the John Carpenter film Prince of Darkness. I think it's the exact same hair.
Yeah, maybe
it's not the same woman. I looked it up, but
she's from CSI, right? That's what I recognize her from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple more from Letterboxd. Movie Boots put shit. Half star. Oh, these Letterboxd reviews. And Madison put, my mum is ranting on the phone and all of a sudden she started pointing at the TV for me to look and I see these fucking green membranous pepperoni nipple having alien titties and I want to die. 1/2 star.
I like how that's happened and he's gone straight to Letterboxd.
Yeah.
I don't think we can top that here tonight. That's it. That's all you need, right? That's the review to end all reviews of Species.
Yeah. So, have you guys seen this one before?
Yeah, a long time ago. I saw this on VHS.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, this was.
Yeah.
It was the same.
I think it used to be on Channel 4 a lot as well. Maybe one of the late night movies. Maybe more Channel 5. Not too sure.
It feels like a Channel 5er.
Yeah.
It definitely does. What time is it? 10 p.m. Search
Yeah.
Channel 5 on, will you?
I remember it being a lot scarier. Like, then again, I remember 13 Ghosts being quite scary. When you watch them back, there's nothing like tangibly. When I watch Candyman now, that is still quite terrifying.
It's not massively
But-
scary, and it's not as gory as I kind of remember as well. Like in my head, I'm
Yeah.
remembering loads of stuff happening, but you kind of just see violence kind of happens, and then you just see someone in a pool of blood. It's not, you don't see much happening.
There's one gnarly scene, which is the girl in the toilet cubicle, which is pretty gory.
Yeah.
And that was
You're
one
right,
that
you're
stood
right.
out for me too, because I hadn't seen the movie in got well over a decade easily.
So, yeah.
So I had memories of it being. I remember being really freaked out by Species. You know, teenage me would have come along to this movie, renting it on VHS or getting someone to rent it for me on VHS, just expecting to see some boobs on screen. And I remember being like, no, this is like legitimately scary. And then when I watched it this time,
Yeah.
there's no tension. There's no scariness at all, I don't think. There's just nothing.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, so what?
Yeah.
As adolescent boys, which is probably all the time when we all saw it for the first time, you get your money's worth in terms of nudity, which is probably part of the reason why you're watching it. But yeah, I would definitely remember being genuinely freaked out and scared by it.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of scenes towards the end.
Maybe it
of
was
this film
the naughty, sexy bits that kind of were
where lulled
terrifying.
you in.
Whoa!
What the hell's that?
It's when the
Jesus!
pepperami nipples came out. That's when I got properly scared.
Yeah.
Ah, crazy. I mean, does it hold up? It's hard to say. Like some bits, yeah. CGI is a bit dodgy, isn't it? It looks a bit PlayStation 2. CGI.
Yeah. I mean, Ben
towards
Kingsley doesn't even look like Ben Kingsley. Just like Jeff Bezos.
I am absolutely baffled. Jeff Bezos, yeah. How much have you made in the last hour? Well, I don't know, but a lot. I'm off finding an alien now. This ragtag group of people who are looking for the alien, I don't understand who they are, what their jobs are, what they're supposed to be doing, why they've been hired to do this. I understand nothing about them, like throughout the whole film. Can we try and
yeah.
Yeah, I think we could go through each member.
Yeah.
Because like
Okay, maybe we'll
Forrest
do that
Whitaker.
when we
Oh,
do
sorry,
the
okay.
cast. Let's do it.
let's do it. Yeah,
Let's do the cat. Let's do the cast, and then we can describe everything. So
Wow.
Natasha Henstridge is Syl, but do we ever hear her name uttered in any instance? Did I miss that?
Yeah, Ben Kingsley definitely says.
He definitely does. Okay,
Yeah,
I missed
yeah.
that. So she's
Michelle
like,
Williams is playing the
mm,
young.
Yeah, I know.
Syl.
that was a big surprise to me.
Yeah. And Frank Welker. Wait, is he the guy?
yeah,
Welker?
he is. Frank Welker's the dude who does the voice of everything.
Yeah.
But he's the voice of the alien, and then this group of like, I think Ed Harvey in the Horror Hangout Board of Advisors group described them as like a Scooby gang of people trying to find the alien. But yeah, they're all pretty. I mean, it's strange. They're all. I mean, how many of them have won an Oscar? Ben Kingsley definitely. Forrest Whitaker, yes. Not sure about Alfred Molina. Michael Madsen, definitely not. It's just like. So Ben Kingsley's Xavier Fitch, who's like the scientist who's the head of whatever experiment they're doing, mixing alien human DNA. Michael Madsen, as far as I'm aware, is like a hired assassin.
I think he's the hitman.
Yeah.
Why has he been hired though? Because surely like, the government are in charge of that. They've got helicopters flying around. They've got like guys in black suits. Why do they need Michael Madsen?
He's like the best hitman. He's so good. He can hit
He's so
aliens
bloody
as well. It's in his business card. And I do aliens.
And I do it. Got the aliens? Got aliens you need catching?
It gets a
Yeah.
little bit confused because he comes in and like you say, they've got helicopters and all the government backing that you might expect, but they also can't stop the trains from running. Like there's a scene earlier on, like, oh no, we can't stop the trains. So there's all these things that they can't do, but they seemingly have endless resources for helicopters and getting unnecessary team members.
Alfred Molina. Is he English, by the way, in real life?
Yeah.
Was he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I only know him really as Doc Ock and
He's in Indiana
Steve
Jones.
Jobs. Okay. So he's a doctor who.
He is English. Sorry to interrupt, Luke.
Oh.
He was born in
Okay.
Paddington, London.
Okay. Yeah. He actually sounds a
Interesting.
little bit like Guy from Green Wing. If you ever watched Green Wing, he's got a
Yeah,
similar.
you got the same hair.
Plays Geebo, whatever that game is. So he's I don't know what he's a doctor of. I don't think it's important. Forrest Whitaker.
Aliens.
Alien doctor.
Forrest Whitaker.
The femme fatale, but alien. Um, what's the
Forrest Whitaker. He's
yeah.
described as an empath, I believe, but he's just like a psychic guy. Oh my! I love Forrest Whitaker. He's great. He annoys the hell out of me in this movie because they use him as just a plot device to get the Scooby Gang from A to B, like after Natasha Henstridge's character. They turn up like an hour or half an hour after she's done a murder, and then Forrest Whitaker gets a funny feeling and says, "Oh, something bad's happened here."
Sorry.
Oh, something bad's happened here. And then he says like the most obvious thing, and then they go to the next place. Like I don't know why. It just it annoyed me. I felt like why do they need like any sort of psychic character in this movie?
Well, all the characters are kind of placeholders. Marge Helgenberger as Dr. Laura Baker. I don't think they even get around to hearing what her name is. I'm pretty sure they just go, "Yeah, you're just here to be Michael Madsen's love interest."
I mean, she's there. Her role is to change the camera in the lab thing. That's like her main thing. But she also then later, you see her in the car and she's like doing a search on like a police computer.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking, oh, what is her role that she is able to find people and their addresses, also as a biologist or whatever else.
That computer must be easy to use because Michael Madsen used it. I think it's just Google. Just search in LinkedIn.
And then randomly at some point in the movie, she decides she's got the horn from Michael Madsen just out of nowhere. She's like, actually, you know what?
Wow.
He's the best of everyone else who's here. She's got no interest in Ben Kingsley because she likes hair.
Hey,
hey, and so she goes for Madsen.
Even their whole romance is like telegraphed to the audience through Forrest Whitaker's empath powers.
Yeah,
like they actually don't act as if they're in love or like even flirting with one another. Just at one point, Forrest Whitaker says a line that is, "She likes you, by the way," and then you go, "Oh, okay, right, I'm on board now. Okay, we can set up the next bit of this story." Like it tells Michael Madsen, who's fairly clueless, what's happening.
I'll be honest, it also tells us wouldn't be able to do anything with Forrest Whitaker around because he'd be like a peeping Tom of the empath world. He's feeling in. He's listening.
He does interrupt them when they're just about to get it on as well, and you'd be like, all the times. There's a really weird moment where Marg Helgenberger like pulls down Michael Madsen's trousers, and then there's like a shot between his legs as she's looking at his member.
It's
and
weird.
She kind of like goes, biting her lip and goes cross-eyed. I think. What's he packing down there, Madsen?
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's it for the main cast members, right?
Yeah. And then you've got that's it pretty much. There's a few people who want to get it on with Natasha Henstridge, who don't last long, unfortunately, because the
little baby boy is a guy called Curtis Burrow. Doesn't look like he's been in anything since. I'm quite curious to know what he's up to. You were the little.
Do you know what he looked like? He looked like the little boy. Have you ever seen that Vine of like the little boy covered in peanut butter?
Yeah.
And they go, "Does that feel good?" And he goes, "Eh." He just looked like him. He was covered in peanut butter. I want to be.
Maybe that's what he's up to now. He's just covering himself in peanut butter, reliving his Fastlorian
Never
species.
showered. Yeah.
It's cute when it's a baby, but when it's a 30-year-old bloke, no one likes it. Trust me.
That's what they keep telling me. So that's what the main actors. I think. Is that it? There's 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 on the main team. Not including
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it feels like at 5 that maybe 3 would have been enough on this main team.
Yeah.
The fact that there's 5 of them just gets a bit nuts.
We didn't nail down what Alfred Molina's purpose is. Like, okay, regardless of what you think about whether or not we need a psychic empath, like, I understand Forrest Whitaker's role. I get that Marge is the biologist, and I get that Michael Madsen is like the muscle. But I genuinely have no idea what Alfred Molina's character's role is, or anything that he really does.
Well, he impregnates Thingy.
Yeah,
and
but that's not why. Is that why Ben Kingsley hired him?
we need your sperm, man.
We need your
Bring
sperm. You're really fertile. You can get a
Yeah.
woman pregnant like that. So come on.
And
It's because he's got
Stephen,
8.
yes, bring your balls.
It's because he's got 8 limbs. That's the reason. Oh, Doc Ock.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
you got Gandhi.
Yeah.
You've got Doctor Octopus. You've
Dr.
got
Octopus.
You got Mr. Blonde. You've got Ghost Dog. Or,
I
and you
don't
got
see that. I
CSI.
really want to watch that.
and you got CSI. What
Yeah.
a team!
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a better
Oh
movie
my.
already.
That's
Yeah.
Justice League. That's what cut of Justice League I would make if I got the chance on the water slide.
Well, the Arrington cut will surely come around at some point.
Gandhi!
Okay, so the setup is SETI, which is a real thing. They sent out, what is it, 0.5 kilobyte of information. Like, it's ridiculously small. Like, I don't think you could fit anything in that small. It's like a DNA sequence. I think this is a real thing, right? They sent out a sheet of music, something like that, out of space, and the idea is that some aliens are going to hear the music or whatever, and they're going to go, I don't like it. I do. And get back in touch with us.
0.5 kilobyte. I wonder what music it was.
Stan, the Eminem song.
I was gonna say.
So catchy. They'd be like, and it's got nice lyrics and a meaning. It's a story as well, you know.
Story. They just send a new. They just bomb the.
I mean, if they send Stan, that entirely explains why they sent back Syl.
Species, yeah.
Fuck this planet.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So they send back like a transmission which has got like some DNA, and they're like, just mix this DNA with your DNA, it'll be a right laugh.
Oh well, they sent them. Something. Oh, it's like a cure.
Energy.
Cure for energy. Like a nice electrolyte drink. They basically sent us Lucozade.
They go, how much energy you going through? Bloody hell, have this energy. And they've
Nice
gone, "Oh, yeah."
sports drink from the stars. And then because that tasted so nice, they were like, come on, let's make an alien baby. I still don't understand how it works. What, they could just make DNA? If they have like some thing on a program and it says, yeah, you twist it like that, not like that instead. Like you twist the DNA strands around. Just do one of them. What?
It's just
How
like
does that
cross
work?
stitch. It's just like cross stitch. basically.
Yeah, you
It's a
needles
cross-stitch
out.
pattern. It's just a little version of Syl. Like that.
Elgenberger. Yeah. Dr. Baker. And bring your needles. So they make a baby alien. It starts with Michelle Williams in like a glass cabinet, and it looks like the kind of glass cabinet which you get like your fish and your deep fried stuff in your chip shop. It's that kind of color, and she's in there. And it looks like it keeps her warm.
Savaloy.
But she does something wrong. I don't know why they decided to kill her.
Something happens when they
Oh,
go
Come on.
gas her.
Come on, start again.
Yeah, they just decide to like that she's become too dangerous, or they decide.
She's dreaming. Is that because later on they were like she made like a weird eye movement and asleep.
Yeah.
Get her dead.
She has a weird like back pepperami as well that comes out that's in the dream, which you can kind of miss sometimes. I didn't see it until I watched it this time. I never realized, but she has a little tentacle that comes out under the bed sheets. But yeah, I think Ben Kingsley kind of explains a little later on that they just decided to do a do-over. But essentially,
she grows really fast, doesn't she? So like she was only a few months old when she was Michelle Williams.
You can relate,
Age.
man.
I can relate.
Aging super fast.
I'm only a few months old, aren't I? Jesus, what's going on here? Yeah. So, but it's weird because she seems to like pick up information. How does she pick up information? She like watches people do things and then remembers it and
It's a bit
picks
weird.
up people's traits. It is a bit weird because I kept thinking, how does she know how that works when she's out in the world? I
Yeah,
kept thinking, how she managed to do that? How's she driving a car already? What's going on?
yeah. High five and that guy. How did you know that's reciprocal?
Yeah. What was an attack? Oh fucking
Yeah.
hell!
I like it because Ben Kingsley is in his like. I mean, he looks so much like Jeff Bezos. He's in like a white suit, stood on like a platform, looking down, and he's like, "Get
Get the gas in.
get the gas." And these people bringing cyanide and they're pumping it up, and then he starts to cry. It's like a little tear, and it cuts away and it cuts back a second later, and it looks like someone's just thrown a glass of water in his face. It's not just his eyes. His eyes are completely drenched. It's kind of dripping over his face and everything. Yeah, so he gets really emotional.
It's only been
And
3
then,
months. She was a little fetus like 2 months ago. Get over it.
yeah,
That's really insensitive. Sorry. God. That was really insensitive. God.
well, she
I
breaks
don't know where that
out.
came from.
She's like, she breaks out. The cyanide kills all the people in gas masks somehow. It's like gas mask proof.
It's really
And
powerful
then,
cyanide.
Yeah.
yeah. And then she runs away. And I think the door, the fire exit's right there. I think must be. But I don't know where she is. They're not in SETI, are they? Are they? I don't think they're at SETI. I mean, they're in, well, an
They're just-
Amazon warehouse. I don't know
Yeah,
where
they're
they are.
somewhere in the desert, and then she runs all through the night to the nearest train track, which we don't know how far it is, but
Oh yeah, and then a homeless guy comes up to her. I don't know what wants to happen, but he gets shoved so hard his like back snaps off.
this
Yes,
is one of the best. I loved this bit. This is such a good effect. It's maybe
Yeah.
one of the best effects in
in the world.
world. Just this guy who gets thrown against the wall and lands, and it's obviously like just 2 people through a wall, but it's really, really effective. His legs are turned around the wrong way, and
He just folds
I really
back.
rated this bit.
It's good. It does this film does this a lot. It has like the piano, like an old Casio piano keyboard sting. It's like just a mess of notes. There's no actual rhyme or reason for it. They just press that, and then it's like she sees a flash. They kind of invert the colors, and she sees a flash of, I guess, her floating around or swimming or something in her final form.
Yeah, she looks like reptilian, but also like robot. She looks like a reptilian C-3PO.
Yeah.
In some sort of weird liquid in this little thing. What's that thing from that movie from the 1920s as well with the weird robot on the
Yeah,
yeah.
Metropolis.
Metropolis, yeah, I think that's right. Getting Metropolis vibes 100%.
So it's a Giga design, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Have you seen the
Yeah,
HR Giga Batmobile?
No.
No.
Definitely Google that if you get a chance, listeners and hosts.
HR Giga Batmobile.
Just imagine 2 of
Oh,
Natasha Henstridge's arms. Yeah, very reptilian machinery, weird stuff going on. It's a shame, really, that we see H.R. Giger's design as like a PS2 cutscene at the end because it looks ever so wobbly.
Yeah, I mean, what, early 90s? This Batmobile looks like a pair of pliers, by the way.
Yeah, it does. I know it does. Fair play.
Was he involved as the concept artist on one of the film projects for Batman, or is this just a thing that he just did?
A good question. I think I knew at one point, but I don't remember.
Oh,
now. So
it
I
says
think
here-
he does.
Unused
Go on.
design from Batman Forever.
Oh,
Yeah. I wonder who Ever
mean,
is.
I mean, that would have been absolutely mad. You already had Tommy Lee Jones going absolutely, basically
Yeah.
doing basically
And there's
trying
a
to outdo
spiky-
Jim Carrey.
the Batmobile that they ended up using in that one. Oh wait, maybe I'm not thinking of the right one. I'm thinking of Batman Returns Batmobile.
The Batman Forever one is the one which is like really, it's really got it's lighty. It looks like a pair of like light up trainers.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 I remember this one.
Yeah.
It's a weird design.
So Seal, who looks like a 12-year-old girl, obviously at this point we should mention that. Ends up on a train, and she's well peckish. She's eating all the food. Where'd she get this food from?
I don't
Food
know.
cart.
Yeah, but she steals food cart. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
She goes into that little bit where the conductor takes a banana
that's
and puts
right,
it on
yeah.
a plate or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
I
I
was
can't remember if it was
thinking
a
quid.
banana, but
She bites
completely
into the
unnecessary
banana without peeling it as well. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I think she might be an alien.
Femme fatale,
I
but
think she's a
alien.
species. Femme fatale but alien. Yeah, that's the tagline, I think, actually. Femme fatale but alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, so she, her face, she goes through some changes. Her face starts, like, sprouting. Like a potato you've left in the cupboard for a long time.
Yeah.
But in double time.
Have you ever
and
seen those pictures when someone says, "Oh, I just came back to my flat after being away for 8 months.
Yeah.
I left a potato," and it's just like, "Oh my god, I'd burn the old flat. I'd go in there with a
It is weird.
flamethrower."
Yeah.
It's very weird.
She's like, what did she make, like a cocoon or something?
Mate, it's like a weird, greasy, green, like algae cocoon in the corner. And there was was it a conductor woman who was nice to her. She was like, "Oh, you're traveling on your own, are you? Oh, don't worry about it." What did she say? She said something else nice
I'll
to her.
give you the half price ticket for being, even though you're 12, maybe ish, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'll give you the price for like an 11-year-old.
And you go,
And
"Oh,
then
that's
she goes,
nice."
"I'll show you. I'm going to grow. I'm going to be 16 by tomorrow morning."
Well, I mean, she
Yeah.
deserved that bit discount because she was technically only like 3 months old at this
True.
point. So
Yeah.
like, she
Yeah, that's
totally
true.
probably should have traveled for free, honestly.
I don't think I should let her on.
You're 3 months old and you're unattended. You're traveling to LA on your own.
Yeah.
Get real. Yeah, but the conductor
They
comes
grow up
in.
so fast.
Yeah. The conductor comes in because she's left her little TV on too loud and it's quite late.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes in and she goes, "Has someone left a potato in this bathroom?"
Again. Yeah.
Again.
It's
And then-
absolutely stinking. I imagine it would stink as well. That
It looks smelly. Yeah.
Well, it does. It's
All
all
that
like
leftover food.
it's like throbbing and puffy and weird potato that's on the wall. And then
Oh,
it like
God. Yeah.
this is what is a kind of good jump scary moment because you're looking into the sort of eye of this potato. And
You'd
And
never
Sil-
look in the eye of a potato. My dad always told me that.
and Sil just dives out and pulls her back in. Although I don't know if she pulls her fully back in. I think she just pulls a bit of her in, like her head, and maybe I don't know. She doesn't. You see her in a little bit later, the conductor, and she doesn't seem to be too badly beat up
Just
or
got a
anything.
bit of goo on her.
Yeah.
Just like a bit of the green.
Come on,
goo
get up. You're all right.
Yeah,
Walk
no,
it off.
You're all right. No, you're not. We've mentioned as well that obviously Sil likes TV. She's laughing at everything that she watches. So she's basically learning all she does about human nature from TV. Essentially, is where she when she's matured into Natasha Henstridge is where she learns about sexy time and mating and
She watches a
stuff.
load of porn or something, I think.
She watches a load of one evening in a motel, and she's just like, "Oh, dude, so much choice. I'm gonna watch it
Yeah.
all," and she does. We've all been there.
But I mean, before all that, I guess the team's been introduced by this point, right?
Yeah.
Xavier's had them all on the phone. Bring your balls. Bring your needles. Bring your
Bring your empath.
bring your brain. And
Bring your potato peeler with a little eye remover on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so they all turn up. I think they're all like in a doctor's waiting room, and they're like, "What are you in for?" It's a nice little moment. We get to meet them all. They all seem friendly enough. Michael Madsen pretty much instantly says, "I'm a hitman," or something along those lines, like he implies it, simply by the glasses he's wearing. So I guess Xavier explains at this point. He has like a PowerPoint presentation or something like that. I can't really remember.
Yeah, this is our exposition scene where we just need all the information that frames up who Syl is, who this girl is that we've seen, because we haven't really got the whole story yet, and it's delivered in a pretty boring, just round the table scene. To be honest, it's very expositional and sort of everyone's. It feels like it's the sort of scene where the audience is way ahead of everyone else, all the characters on screen.
Yeah, the audience is way ahead of everyone else, and Forrest Whitaker's Dan Smithson thinks he's even further ahead when he's not. He's just saying obvious things like,
"Just trying to finish the guy's sentences."
She's lost. She's lost. She's confused. She doesn't know what's going on. Well, yeah, we everyone gets that. We all know that. Got anything else, Forrest? For God's sake.
Yeah. You say you don't like Forrest Whitaker in this. I actually quite like him. He feels like a sort of character that wouldn't exist in today's cinema, but we used to have. I mean, that kind of guy a lot.
I've got absolutely no problem with Forrest Whitaker. He's an absolute phenomenal actor. I just don't like the way his character's used in this. Is pretty much a way of pushing along the plot. It feels a bit lazy to me. Like I would have preferred it if he was just scientist, hitman, any other person really, other than kind of psychic.
Forrest Whitaker, he's responsible for like a moment in film that like shook me to my very core, and I had to lie down. I remember now. Yeah, it's The Last King of Scotland. Have you seen The Last King of Scotland?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
Have you seen it, John?
Don't think I have.
James McAvoy is like a doctor of aliens. He's a doctor who goes to Africa, and I can't remember. It's based on a real guy. And there's a scene at the end that, although you didn't see exactly what was happening, it was so gruesome. It's not a horror film that I was like, I have to lie down. I'm going to fall over. Like I don't know what it was. It's like the suggestion of what's happening. It very rarely happens. I mean,
that's the movie he won Best Actor for, though, isn't it? At the Academy Awards.
It is really good. And just that moment, I just remember now. It's like in the same way that Chuck Palahniuk short story gets me. Yeah.
Oh, right.
It affected me in the same way. So I recommend it.
I don't remember.
I'll have to check it out.
So it's weird because, again, they're obviously all very good at individual things, but then it's at one point they're doing a load of science, and they got them all sat around the table like with their little lab coats on. And if I was, I don't know, Michael Madsen or Forrest Whitaker, I'd be like, can I just go home for a bit and sit this bit out? Why am I here when we're looking in a petri dish, looking at Syl's cells divided? Why have I got to have this information? Let the doctors do this bit. See you later. It seems ridiculous. They're all sort of sat around like that. It made me look like they were all in school doing like just something that they just couldn't be asked with, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it pretty much just moves on from. They sort of go after her, don't they? And they basically follow her trail of destruction across the country, and they're always like, five steps behind her, but on her trail.
She goes to the nightclub, right? That's the next.
Yeah. So after staying, so she stays in this motel.
She goes shopping, and there's some interesting, funny scenes of her like buying a bridesmaid's dress or a wedding dress, and just wandering around the town and
little screwed up Arrested Development. She reminded me of Charlize Theron in she's like mentally retarded female who wears a wedding dress. You ever seen it? That's really good. Mr. F.
And she got her money. She's stolen some money. Obviously, she got it in a bum bag. All the money just screwed up in little. I know people like that. Have you ever seen people like that? They go, I'll just pay for that, and they get out like a £5 note, and it says you screwed up into a tiny ball. And I go, what kind of life are you living?
Yeah,
Perhaps they are a species.
Cash.
Perhaps they are a species. That's another thing. That's what I kept saying, because there obviously isn't an alien. There's not a name for her as an alien, so I just kept calling her. She's a species. She's one of them species. Are you a species?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to see. There's a couple of moments like when she gets off the train, because she gets off the train and we see like the team, the Scooby team have radioed ahead or something, and they've asked, "Hey, make sure you don't let any little blonde girls through." And we see all the little blonde girls getting like pushed to a corner because that is what they're looking for. And Natasha Henstridge, who is now fully grown, just walks straight past and kind of shares a sort of knowing glance, weirdly, with this girl as she's leaving the train station and into LA. And yeah, the story kind of progresses, and we're just seeing this intercut between Natasha Henstridge exploring LA, looking for her mate, someone to mate with, and our Scooby team being one step behind the whole way and following her. Yeah, like he said, Ben, her trail of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So she stays at a motel, doesn't she? And then she goes and asks the guy behind the desk, "Where can I find a man?" And he just says, "Go down a club, go down the local
Liquid."
Oh, what's it called? Is it called Liquid?
Liquid. Oh. We had Liquid in Mansfield.
Oh man, it's so 90s in there, and it's so 90s. Like the music, just how everyone's
WKD drinks that are like neon, like lighting up, and there's like a little dance bit on like a little cage.
Are you talking about this place? Or are you talking about the place Liquid? Are you talking about
they filmed it in Liquid. It looks like.
You could have a Reef, a WKD, Smirnoff Ice, all the things.
Get a lot of chip for drinking those, but when you've had like 10 beers, a nice, refreshing like alcopop is really nice.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's weird to think I used to live a life where I used to go out and drink 10 pints of something. As I did. I used to drink Guinness on a night out, and honestly, I see pictures of myself when I was like 19, 20. I've got the fattest neck. I'm just like, how do I not know? Shelling the Guinness down over my neck is just like that. Now I've grown a beard to cover it.
Hold on, would you go out on a night out and drink 10 pints of Guinness?
I don't know about probably not 10.
Oh,
that's
God.
Probably ridiculous.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's a lot of Guinness. But I mean, I definitely had Tennent's was mine, being a Scottish guy, so I'd go out and drink like 10, 11 pints of Tennent's, which just seems absolutely terrifying to me now.
I remember being so cheap as well. John Smith's was one I drank for some reason as a kid.
Gravy.
Why?
Frothy gravy.
But that was like, I think like £1.50 or something like that. It's maybe cheaper. It was ridiculously cheap anyway.
I remember there was a pub just outside my college where I used to go in and buy a 2-litre bottle of Natch, like cider, in a plastic bottle in a pub as well, for like £3.50.
Oh yeah.
Everyone pour it out. Oh, good times.
Bristol, isn't it? With the ciders.
Bristol loves the cider. Natasha Henstridge doesn't do any of that. We didn't see her drinking anything, do we? There's no Guinness. There's no Tennent's.
Oh, no, sorry guys, I got cut off there for a second.
Oh, we're still on the drink.
Sorry.
We're still on the drinks, man.
Natasha Henstridge, we're just saying she chose not to drink the Mansfield bitter.
She necked a pint of Tennent's in a deleted scene. In a deleted scene of this.
Yeah, well, we release the Tennent's cut then. That's what I say.
That'll put hairs on your chest, love, or tentacles on your nipples, whatever the saying is.
A bit of both.
Yeah. So anyway, she meets a guy who's got dashing hair, and he seems like a nice guy, right? He comes across okay. She says, I think she says, I want to get her. And he goes, where? And she says, I don't know. Like a little cute.
She hears a woman like say the line, "Oh, I've got a party to go to and nobody to take me."
Yeah,
And
okay. Yeah.
Does she initially follow her into the toilet? And is that
Yeah,
right?
that's the woman that she
Oh.
kills in the cubicle because she sees her as a threat. You see
Ah.
that a lot. Like that's how she kind of learns how to drive and spend money. You see little scenes. They do kind of set up all these things, but it's quite subtle. So she's watching people do stuff and then will mimic them. So yeah, she says exactly the same lines, but because that woman just beforehand in the bar sort of said that line, "I've got a party to go to and no one to take me," to someone that Sil was eyeing up. Like that's a threat, so she follows her into the toilets, eliminates that threat in a really, really gruesome way.
She also gets inside the toilet somehow.
Yeah.
How did she get in there?
And then she like Hadoukens her through the wall. And like rips her spine out. Is that what
As soon as she goes to that guy and he goes, "Yeah, I'd invite to my house, but have you been inside a toilet?"
What?
No.
No? What are you on about?
I like the perfume you're wearing. Thanks, it's shit.
I mean, he does immediately try to get her into the shower, so it does all make sense.
Yeah, it does.
True, yeah. I'm going to take a shower. You can take it. Do you want to take a shower? You don't have to. I'm just saying it's on if you want to.
It's on.
you
It's
want
on
it,
right
yeah.
now if you want it. I mean, you might as well get in. You're close to it. I mean, no? Oh, unfortunate. So he quite swiftly turns into a douche because she senses that he's diabetic, doesn't she? So she pretty much rejects him immediately, just says, "Oh, I've changed my mind" or whatever. But he's like, "Oh no, you're here now, so you got to do this." So luckily, she takes it upon herself to fuck him up.
She like tongs the back of his head through his neck. So good,
Yeah.
shoots out. I remember that bit being quite shocking when I was a kid.
And how do you feel about it now?
I mean, I wouldn't like it. But
What are you doing?
I don't think it would kill you, would it? No, it would. It's going through like your spine.
It wouldn't kill you.
Run
Well,
it
you
under the
died from
cold
that,
tap.
you wimp.
But that is a total like xenomorph type thing that we never see her use or do. Like we
Yeah.
don't know what's going on in that mouse. She doesn't have like a pepperami tentacle in there as far as we know. But it comes out now.
Yeah. I used to have a
it's-
friend called
it's
Danny Longtongue. It was a nickname, but it was a nickname because he should have been in the X-Men. His tongue was so long, like I can't. It was unnatural. Like he used to like people can like lick their nose and stuff. He could like lick like the underneath of his neck. Like it could just go.
No.
Yeah, honestly, like it was.
Did he have,
There
what,
was
he had no
something
chin?
unnatural. No, there was something just. He was just a strange. He was
would
a
be-
peculiar guy anyway. And the thing is, I don't want to. I haven't not spoken to him for years, and I really want to have some proof of his long tongue because I don't. Maybe there's a video on Facebook. I'll try and find one.
He would
But
be in the
it's-
Luke Condor cut of Justice League. The long tongue guy.
He will be.
Danny Longtongue.
And who was the guy from your school that you mentioned recently? You mentioned a few weeks ago.
I don't know who.
I can't remember. You mentioned someone. It'd just be people from your childhood. That's it.
I forget
Condor
what Sil,
cut.
forget what Sil's kid is doing now, or the peanut butter kid. We want to know what Danny Longtongue's up to.
It's unfortunate, I guess, with Sil is that there aren't many practical effects to show like weird bits of her and like her tongue coming out, and most of it's CGI or like kind of just really quick shots that we don't kind of see much of. I think it could have some really good practical effects bits. I think would have been really, really good.
I'm just
Who's
saying,
this?
that's not Danny Longtongue, but that's the kind
Oh
of
my
tongue you had.
God.
Is that shit? But his was.
I
I'm
thought
sure
that was
his
him
longer.
then.
I was
His
going to
is-
say.
But if that he's of that, that type of special mutant person.
I wonder what's he doing for a living? Do you reckon?
Oh, you know what? I can't remember his real surname.
Something disgusting. Can't remember his real surname. What? It wasn't Long Tongue?
He's an ice cream taster. He tastes the bottom of cornettos before they put the ice cream in. Is there chocolate in that?
He pushes that little bit of chocolate into the
pushes
tip
it
of
on
the
it.
cornet.
Yeah. He pushed. How'd you get that chocolate in the tip? Is it gravity? No, it's not gravity.
Someone has to put those in themselves.
Can I not just use my finger? Disgusting. Health and safety.
Danny, pop that in, mate. Yeah. He was a really great guy, I've got to say.
Brian.
He's a great guy. And if he's listening right now, what would you say?
Hey up. How's it going? What do you mean?
What's your
I had a
favourite
cornet the other week, mate. Cracking job.
Great work. Great work.
Yeah.
I knew it was you.
I don't think I'm looking through his pictures, and I don't think it's something he likes to show off because it is a bit strange. But there's nothing on Facebook.
Oh,
You just have to have a word for it.
okay. I will.
Licks or it didn't happen. Come on.
So she kills that dude, penetrates his skull, penetrates a would-be rapist's skull. Very poetic. And then she tries. Well, it says here she tries to mate with John Kerry, but that's a little bit later, isn't it? So she goes about her business. The Scooby Gang
shower as well. After being in the toilet, she does actually go for a shower.
Oh, she does.
Just to clear that up. Yeah.
Okay. That was just a moment that I think they had a number of topless scenes they could have for Natasha Henstridge, and they really did push the boat out on it. So the Scooby Gang turn up not long after this, and again, there's a lot of sort of stating the obvious, isn't there? Oh, somebody died. Oh, she's moving on to somebody else. Oh, there's a little
duh.
duh.
I think Professor X even says, not Professor X, Xavier even says something along those lines. Like,
duh.
yeah, we know.
What have we got you here for?
Obviously.
Empath?
Yeah.
And then she moves on pretty quickly. It says the car accident bit next, so I'm sure they're missing something. But
doesn't Marge? Doesn't Marg get attacked by a squirrel?
Yes, but that's not yet.
That's not yet. No.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That's after.
Did you not think? I was like, squirrels don't do that.
Squirrels have never done that.
No.
That's what squirrels do.
Fucking hell. Someone had like a toy squirrel on set that day, and they were just like, "Got to put this in the film, mate. Go get it in."
They were pranking everyone behind the scenes, and they were like, "Oh, we've got to put this in."
It's a great jump scare.
Yeah.
So something happens later where she's just walking around in the middle of the day, and she gets like run over. Is it her fault, or is it the guy driving fault?
I don't like this. I don't like this scene because it just makes Syl seem pretty clumsy in a weird way. Yeah. Like, I feel like we've seen her break through bulletproof glass or whatever else, running and keeping up and catching a train.
Unless it was on purpose.
Nah.
I mean, I don't
know. It seems also it's kind of mad because the guy who flattens her as well, like, hit and run. He like goes, "Oh shit!"
True.
Shit. Gets out of there. But luckily, John Kerry is there, and he's not a doctor, is he? Because he's like, "Move out the way." I thought he was going to go, I'm a doctor. Move out the way.
Yeah.
I'm a man, and I'm going to see if she's okay. She's not okay. So she gets taken to hospital. They're like, "Oh, she got insurance." John Kerry's just like, "Stick it on my credit card." We're like, first of all, we don't know how much this is going to cost. Second of all, it's in the US. It's going to be like 50 grand.
Yeah, but luckily he picked up a self-healing woman. Most people are self-healing.
To
some degree.
Yeah. Did you recognize the woman who was working in the hospital, the one who got the credit card? Because I recognized her. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, and then I had a little Google. She is I was going to say, is she sort of like is she a not a psychiatrist? What's Forrest Whitaker again? What's the word?
Empath.
Yeah. She's kind of like an empath, the one from Jeepers Creepers. You know, the one who saw the monster, and she kind of
She's
tells
that one.
the characters about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the woman? She turns up at the police station later on as well.
And
She's got
dies.
sort of connection with the. I think she dies as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there we go. That's a nice little
Interesting. Yeah.
little
She's been
role. for her.
typecast as a person in horror movies.
Yeah.
As an actor.
You've been typecast as an actor again, haven't you?
Yeah. So right, so she's in hospital. The doctor's there. And he's like, "Oh yeah, back's all fucked up. Let's swap that out for another one." And he's like laying it on thick about how bad it's going to be. He's like, "That guy's dropped his credit card off." Yeah, it's bad, mate. It's like
No, he just goes like this. You go, you dropped your credit card. He goes,
yeah,
what? What's wrong with it?
yeah. And then the back heals itself. I mean, this looks like it's like a smudge on her back that's kind of clearing away. It's like in Photoshop when you clone stamp something and you're smudging it all back into place.
Yep.
And then she gets up and goes to find Carrie Berry. And
Yeah, but then she's just like, he's like, oh my god,
Come on.
you're all right, and she's like, yeah, I'm all right. And
yeah,
he's like, well, what happened? She was like,
She's
nothing.
like,
Let's go.
hop on, I'll give you a piggyback out.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Yeah,
So yeah, they're back at his house. They have a weird, awkward pose for a photo, which I'm like, I mean, if I just met anybody, I don't know if I'd want to pose for a photo, let alone if I
Yeah,
was
it's
a
weird. Yeah,
alien hybrid woman who didn't know what a flash
Can't
was.
tell, but alien. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously they're trying to portray him like, look, here's another potential mate, but he's kind of like completely the opposite to the other guy she tried it on with. And it's almost like she's trying to be a bit forceful in this way based on what she learned from that guy, where she's like, right, okay, I need to be a bit forward and forceful. This is obviously what humans like. But obviously Carey is being a gentleman. He doesn't like his he doesn't like his Speedos taken off in the hot tub.
He's a never nude. You should never take his. He's never taken those pants off.
Wow.
Yeah, she rips them off. And then our guys somehow find. Oh, I think they speak to the club owners. No, how did they find? Oh,
They
get
speak
the
to the doctors, and
Right,
because
yeah,
he
that's
left
the
the
one.
credit card, they now know
Yeah.
where to go. So
Yeah,
we
they're
actually
like-
get these two things. These two storylines are finally kind of converging now on the
Mhm.
same.
Yeah,
And they just be like, we don't need you anymore, empath, because we've just done all our detective work without you. And he's gone,
Yeah.
"Oh, suppose I'll head on home then. See you later. No, they still need him.
yeah.
At this point, it gets a bit annoying because, like, not Jim Carrey. What's his name? John Carrey.
John Carey.
His phone's ringing, and she's like, no, don't. Whoa, steady on, Luke. Jesus.
Excuse me.
His phone's ringing, but Sill's like, no, don't go. Stay in the hot tub with me. And then his like door's knocking. She's like, no, stay with me. I couldn't handle that. I couldn't let the phone go unanswered or the door go unanswered, no matter who was in my hot tub. Natasha Henstridge, you could wait. Let's
Yeah.
see who it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I think I said something along the lines of, "Why the fuck are you getting out of the hot tub? Like, leave the phone. Let it go to
Oh,
answer
right.
machine."
Completely opposite me and you, John. I was just like, my nerves just won't allow me to do that, unfortunately. I just be like, God, what's it going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have voicemail set up, or maybe the tape's full. Like, he has to go answer it. And then
Yeah.
the door's going, like you said, so he wants to get out. And I think I guess she realizes that it's the Scooby Gang,
Yeah.
does she?
Hmm.
But I don't know how she would know that. Or
I think she might be a bit empathy. Maybe. I don't know. I just get the vibe that I don't know. I'm just making that up. If it fits. But yeah, so she starts to like she panics, and then panic kills the guy. I mean, maybe she didn't need to kill him because she just not run away.
Yeah. She probably doesn't need to kill him, but I think she's too far gone. So we pretty much see her full alien form for the first time here, don't we? With tentacles coming out the boobies, and does she just drown him?
yeah.
He's bleeding now as well.
Oh.
That's
Which is-
because one of her booby tentacles goes down his throat.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So it's kind of gruesome.
it is
I don't
gruesome.
know what that's for.
But
There's
gruesome
quite a-
twosome. That's a nickname for. For
Yeah,
the
there's quite a
tentacles.
lot. Obviously, like we mentioned, or I got cut off a little bit, so I didn't hear what you guys said about H.R. Giger or Geiger, or however you want to
Oh.
pronounce it, designing
Yeah.
the Sill creature. But
Mhm.
obviously he famously designed the Xenomorph as well. And there's a couple of little like nods to it because we've got the Xenomorph like appendage in the mouth that goes through the back of the bad guy's head, and the fact that her nipple kind of goes down his throat is not too dissimilar to a face hugger type thing going on. So even though it's not laying anything, but yeah, it's kind of gruesome, and I think that's where the blood came from because I had exactly the same thought as you, Luke, when they come in a little bit where Syl is scarpered. It's like, oh, where did all this blood come from? But
They make absolutely no attempt to see if he's all right. I mean, I know he's face down in a pool and there's blood, but surely whatever you do
Dead,
when you
mate.
find a body is try and see if they're dead or like, because he could have been like that for 10 seconds before they arrived. And they
Yeah.
go, quick, get him out, but they just go, too late for you. It's over. You're finished.
Yeah. This is the point where Natasha Henstridge, I think she's looking through a hole in the fence, I believe.
Yeah.
And then there's a squirrel that attacks Marge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe she's
while they are checking the jacuzzi water for
Semen.
signs of semen.
You see any?
How? I mean, I don't know how. No, there's absolutely none in there. Not a sausage. Like, what's it? Criminology? What am I thinking of? Like evidence and stuff. I don't know how long it takes. Can you do it really that quick?
Forensics.
Just
Yeah.
forensics. I can't think of words tonight.
Just get the filter.
Forensics. Can you do it that quick though? Just like get a bit of water and go, has that got sperm in it? No.
How salty is it?
They've got the guy with the long tongue there, ready to.
Maybe there's that stuff in water, in pool water, that turns a certain colour if you pee in it. Maybe they have something like that for semen. Pop that in.
It's just a really weird test to need to do. Do you know what I mean? Like someone's just been murdered. I know they think Syl's trying to procreate, but initially you turn up, don't even check to see if the guy's dead or not, and then go, check that water for spunk, will you? Fucking hell, come on.
Oh, but that reminds me actually, because Michael Madsen does have a great joke, a great gag line in this scene when they're talking about trying to find the semen in it, and he says something like, "Maybe she took it with her," and I thought that was a good like laugh out loud moment.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
He said it, and then he looked round for a reaction. No one laughed. Maybe she took it with her, huh? In a little pot. Yeah. So she gets away, and is now when she. Oh yeah, that's right. She runs into like a parking lot, and jumps into a car of a woman. She's completely naked, and says, "You got to help me." That's now, isn't it? That's pretty much what happens.
Yeah.
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 And she essentially kidnaps her, doesn't she? And then starts
Oh,
to
yeah.
like
Yeah.
devise a really convoluted, but I mean, sure, kind of ingenious plan. But then also at the same point, it's like I want to know where she's learning all this stuff. I guess she's like got a photographic memory or something, and she's just.
It's so convoluted, this plan. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
it. And even though I'd seen the film a long time ago, but I had seen it before, I was
Yeah.
watching her fill up the fuel tanks, and I had absolutely zero idea what was happening, and it wasn't until later when I'd completely forgotten about them that it all pays off, which I guess is, hats off to that, but it does seem a little bit beyond Syl's reasoning so far, because everything up
Yeah.
until this point, we've just seen her like learn immediately before, and her, obviously she's a smart alien, but I kind of feel like they needed to give us a little bit more, maybe see her figure out a jigsaw puzzle or something first really quickly. We needed to see her
Yeah.
do something that wasn't just mimicking someone else, because this was
She could have watched
planning.
the
Yeah.
film.
This
She could have
was
watched the film where someone did the exact thing, and then she was like,
nuts.
do that.
Well, because it seems like she's kind of got one thing on her mind, which is
Yeah.
stop at nothing to procreate, stop at nothing to mate. And now that
Yeah.
she realizes that some people are after her, it's like, why would she not just attack in the same way that she attacked a rival, like female in the club,
Mhm.
like that? Why would she not just attack like that? Why would she feel the need to create such a convoluted plan to get them off of her case? It just, and then do that, go through all of that, but then still go after those same people. It kind of defeated the object for me a bit. I was a bit like, well, why even do that if you're going to do this? It
When
could
does
just
she
remove
develop
that.
a crush for Michael Madsen? When does that happen? She sees him at some point and is like,
She has a weird little fantasy dream
yeah,
where he comes in, takes off his shirt, and you see a lovely white vest that he's got
Yeah.
on. And even I was like, oh, Michael Madsen.
I think it might have been when she was peering through the hole in the fence back at the squirrel attack.
yeah.
That must be
Okay.
the only time that she's seen him or something. Or there's a moment where she's kind of staking them out outside the nightclub, maybe just before that happens. I'm
Yeah,
trying to think.
because
Yeah.
Not sure.
yeah, so obviously she develops this plan where she's got big bottles of gasoline. She goes and finds like some, what is it, like a power station, power grid thing,
Yeah.
and then she's got a woman that she's kidnapped now, and she's gonna try to essentially, fake her own death.
There's no
Um,
guarantee that it would blow up, right? I mean,
I mean,
who
how does she
knows?
know how all this stuff works? I mean, it is confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's you been watching? Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah. How does she know how to drive? Well, it's automatics over there, isn't it, I guess. It's a bit easier. So
So why did the Scooby Gang decide to go back to the club, considering it's like been a couple of nights since then? What makes them think?
well,
of her
I don't think they even want
behavioural-
to. But Xavier's like,
Okay, I've got you.
I just want to go back. Those people
I
want
loved it
night
there. It was
thing.
absolutely banging. It's absolutely banging in there. Banging,
Yeah.
mate.
So I think we get. Oh wait, so is this before the car? This is after the
Yeah.
car.
This
Fine.
is where the chase like originates from, that ends in her plan, blowing up the car. So there is actually a couple of bit that we've glossed over, which is the woman that she has essentially kidnapped, who she ran into the car. She's kept her tied up in the motel room, and there's a little scene which pays off in a minute where Syl cuts off her own thumb.
Yeah.
And it grows back, so we see, and her captive, sees that she's an alien, and then she also cuts off the thumb. Oh, hold on. Why does she cut off the thumb of the woman? It doesn't make any sense, does it?
So
Because she leaves the. Oh, of course. She
Yeah,
cuts
yeah,
off the
got it,
thumb.
got it.
Sorry, it makes sense. now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She cuts
Yeah.
off the woman's thumb that she's kidnapped, and then that woman is hidden in the car when the chase happens, and she leaves her own thumb, which has her own DNA, blah blah blah, it's somewhere in like the glove compartment or in a pocket in the car, so that later when the Scooby team come along, it's really convoluted because they could easily have tested the body, but just luckily they
Yeah,
find this
yeah.
tiny thumb in the burnt out wreckage of the car.
I didn't even think of that. That is insane.
They
Yeah.
test it with their speedy semen forensics team, and they go, "Yep, that's Syl, so therefore the burnt body must be Syl too." Even though it would have been so much easier just to test the body.
And they just say, "Oh, the thumb." I think Alfred Molina's the only one who said, "Oh, she could have jumped out of the car and caught her thumb in the door." She was jumping out. It's so silly. Yeah. So I think at this point, yeah, go on. Sorry. John.
Sorry. As far as Scooby Team are concerned, is all I was going to say. Syl is now dead, and job is over. Everyone's happy, so they can go back to the hotel and enjoy a few Long Island iced teas.
Yeah, I think so. Ben Kingsley even says, "Congratulations, everybody. Job well done." I was like, none of these guys have done anything. None of you guys have done anything. Oh, no, really.
If anything, you've made Ben Kingsley's life just way harder.
Yeah. So they go
Yeah,
back.
that's a good point. They have like no agency really in the story at all, do they? What have they done? Like
No,
nothing.
There's too many of them.
Absolutely nothing.
It's too
I
many
mean-
cooks.
I mean, Marge did change the camera in the
Oh, did we?
in the
we
microscope.
didn't
Gloss over
mention that,
that
yeah. Ben Kingsley basically willing to just let them die.
That's
Yeah.
true, actually. Yeah,
That's
that
the
got fixed.
scene when the mold grows out of the petri dish. I remember that scene being quite scary when I was a kid.
It
Because
also
that's-
raises it also raises a couple of questions, that scene as well, because basically they're in, and I can't remember what victim. I guess maybe it was after the first victim. Honestly, I can't remember where that exactly falls in the timeline. But Marge suggests that they just bring about the alien DNA alone without any human DNA to
Yeah.
muddy the water, so they know what they're dealing with. And Ben Kingsley's like, "Oh yeah, good idea. We never thought about that." And it just seems so weird that they would go straight to mixing it with a human DNA and bringing about a child, and doing absolutely zero research or anything beforehand,
Yeah.
looking
You can
into
find
it.
it with any other organism. But they were just like, straight into a little girl. Well, it wasn't a girl, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that bit's quite good because it's quite alien-like, isn't it? When it sort of gets about all in the lab and stuff, and Michael Madsen, and I think that's where they kind of bond, isn't it? I suppose there's a little bit of development with their characters, is that they both have a near-death experience, so they're like, yeah, might as well just.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. Michael Madsen like stabs it with a pipe. Shows this is like I told you I'm a hitman. I know what I'm doing.
They're far less angry with Ben Kingsley than I think anyone would.
You can't be angry with a guy like that. He's too
He's
nice.
just gonna let you die.
You saw him cry earlier at the girl. See all those tears. That's the guy who cares.
Just let him out, innit? Just let him out. For God, I can't let him out. It was against protocol. And when they get out,
Yeah.
they kind of go, "Well, that was a close one."
That wasn't very protocol at all, was it, Ben?
No.
Naughty.
Protocol.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley's a weird guy. Every time I look at him, I think, what nationality are you? Like every time he seems, I think maybe his sexy beast, he looks a little bit like Indian at times. I'm not too sure. I mean, I know he's English, but what's that? Is he got Indian in him?
Yeah.
Indian in him.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So
Okay,
when he was born Krishna Pandit Banji.
There we go.
so
But sometimes
he's
he looks so
here we
like,
go.
English.
Born to an English mother and a father of Indian descent.
There
It
you
would
go.
have been weird just getting an English white guy to play Gandhi, right?
Yeah, I think that would have been. He would have
Yeah.
got cancelled for that for sure.
It would have been grossly inappropriate, but give him an Oscar. Did he win an Oscar for that? Am I just throwing Oscars at people?
I think he did. He definitely got nominated.
So, oh yeah, so he won Academy Award for Best Actor. Yeah, well done, mate.
I like him. I've liked just about everything in it. Have you ever seen Lucky Number 11?
Yeah.
Yep.
I always really like that film, and I don't hear anyone talk about it at all. It's been a long time.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, Josh Hartnett in it.
I've not seen that
Who
for a
was
long
the-
time.
Wasn't the director? I can't remember who directed that movie, but he did something else immediately before it that was like a really big hit, didn't he? Or have I got that mixed up?
I don't remember. 2006.
Paul McGeegan.
I feel like it was the follow-up to
McGeegan.
something.
He's also done. I was about to say he's done the Victor Frankenstein movie with Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy.
Oh, Gangster. No, okay,
Did-
Gangster number one.
Gangster
Acid
one,
House.
yeah.
Alright.
Wicker Park with Josh Hartnett. I don't think I've ever seen that.
This is weird. I don't think I've seen any of these. I think I've seen Victor Frankenstein, which is a kind of a weird movie.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, Lucky Number 11. I've got a soft spot for. I'd be up for watching that again at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Bruce Willis in it as well, right?
Yeah, plays the hitman. I think Paul McGeegan's got a thing for hitmen.
Yeah. Clearly. Okay. So where are we at?
We're back at the hotel now, so everyone's
Yeah.
celebrating. Now, this is the bit that Ben was talking about earlier. It doesn't really make sense for Syl to go back, other than the fact that she seems to have taken a shine to Michael Madsen's character. But she's gone through all this plan to make them think that she is no longer around, she's dead, and then she dyes her hair so that they don't recognize her, because it's only Forrest Whitaker who's seen her.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just seen like grainy CCTV footage of Syl so far, so they're kind of uncertain, but they've got a vague idea that it's a blonde woman. So she dyes her hair and then comes back to the hotel where everyone's having a laugh, and she goes into the bathroom and meets up with, I was going to call her Marge, and borrows
Sarge.
Yeah.
Michael Madsen's a bit like, he's not convinced, is he? There's a moment where he thinks he sees her at the bar and he walks up. To be fair, she's like got similar hair and she's wearing like a yellow turtleneck, which
It's like getting ready to punch you. Sorry, madam.
I love it.
He plays it so like it's so over the top, He just sees a blonde woman and basically rips her around, ready to deck her.
Yeah,
it literally could be anyone.
Ready to take. He's really apologetic, though. I think we will. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
And then we've got Alfred Molina and Forrest Whitaker who've got their eyes on a couple of young ladies at the bar. Forrest's not into it. He's like, "I'm going to go upstairs and have a lie down." Alfred Molina's right, "More for me," and all my limbs, all his little arms come out. But he goes over really awkward, obviously, because they've already got dates who arrive. But he deals with it well.
Yeah. He goes to bed. That's the best way to deal with that.
Yeah. Oh, I'll go to fucking bed then, shall I? See you later.
So this is where Michael Madsen and Sarge Helgenberger are getting it on. There's a bit of a cute little romance thing. Well, one night fling style romance going on. She whops his pants off.
He
isn't a never nude. He's always.
So obviously, Syl goes up in the lift with Michael Madsen, and she basically sees him going into Marge's room, and then she looks really like jealous.
Yeah, I think she's is.
Like,
yeah,
I'm fuming. I'm absolutely fuming.
Yeah.
Well, then she hides out in Alfred Molina's. Oh yeah, she's wearing the same perfume.
Oh yeah.
She hides out in Alfred Molina's room to listen through the wall, I guess. Like, maybe she wants to repeat the toilet scene, but Sarge doesn't get close enough to the wall to punch through.
Yeah. She's just lying at the toilet. I'm going to get in there in a second. If you don't pack your ideas up. But Alfred, they're getting on proper, and Alfred Molina goes to bed and finds. He thinks it's like a dream come true. Natasha Henstridge is there. Oh, I was waiting for you. And she's in her mind. We all know she's thinking, "Well, I'm gonna have to. Well, let's just go for it, I guess."
Second choice. Alfred Molina's like, "These kind of things don't usually happen to me."
Yeah.
Well, I was like, "Yeah, fair enough." It would be weird, wouldn't it? Like, it's one of those things where if you did walk into a hotel room, no matter how attractive, and it was Natasha Henstridge, you'd still be like, "What are you doing in here? What have you stolen?"
Yeah. Has he not seen it before? I guess he's got brown hair. But is he?
No, I don't.
It's only Forrest Whitaker, I think, that's actually seen her.
Okay. Yeah.
Or knowingly seen her. Like,
but
Michael Madsen and Sarge have both seen her now at this point.
Any girl who is in not a place where girls should be, who like sneaking out somewhere, I'd be like, "You're the alien," straight away.
Yeah. And if they were like, "Oh yeah," so she's straight onto it. She's obviously like, "Right, that's it, Molina, you're in for it now." Forrest Whitaker at the time, he's trying to sleep, but he's having a bad time of it. He's like, "Oh, something ain't quite right. I feel got a bad tummy." So he goes and knocks on Michael Madsen's door to say, "What are you two doing in there? Nothing. What do you want? Where's Mum's clothes? No." Ruins it for everyone, doesn't he? But to be fair, there are a few moments where I do like Michael Madsen's character, where he could just tell him to fuck off. Look, she's dead. That's it. Yeah. But he listens to him. He listens. He takes on board what he says. He says, "Okay, I believe you, because you've been so successful as an empath so far. You've got 100% hit rate, so I know for a fact you're telling the truth."
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have a
Um,
nice little friendship that kind of like right from that first exposition scene where they meet and Ben Kingsley's doing his PowerPoint presentation. I think the Forrest Whitaker says something like, oh, that must be hard for you, or it must be painful, or he sort of being an empath, he empathizes with Michael Madsen being a hitman and how hard that must be. And and Michael,
What's the
they do
pension
share
like?
like a little moment. That could be read in a couple of different ways. It could be read like Michael Madsen sort of says, "Oh well, thanks, Dan," in like a sort of condescending way. But actually, I think it's quite a little sweet moment. So
Yeah.
it does exactly like what you say, Ben.
Imagine a
It is a
spin-off.
sign of a nice guy that he does listen at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, considering he's in a state of undress, in the throes of passion with somebody, he could quite simply just say, "Get out of here," but he doesn't. He says, "Right, I understand." And I would like a spin-off with these two guys as a duo, going around solving alien-based crimes. With Forrest Whitaker stating the obvious and Michael Madsen just punching women, basically grabbing them and going, "Hey, it's you!" Oh God, it's not.
Yeah.
Could be good.
Um, so they get dressed. They're getting ready to explode into the room. Oh, and Melina's like loving it. I mean, when does he clock on? I mean, clock on.
So obviously he's having sex with Sil, Natasha Henstridge, and he finishes up quite promptly. But I also like
I
how he says,
really enjoyed that.
yeah, he goes, "I enjoyed that immensely. My
Starts tapping her head.
compliments to the chef." He's like, the way he says it is if like she's just made him a lovely scallop. But then she goes, "I can feel it. I feel life." And Alfred Molina's like, "Oh, my darling, you silly lady."
Silly goose. Yeah.
No. He goes, "No, feel it. You'd feel someone's belly. If you felt something in there, you'd be like, what have you had?
What were you
Had some
eating?
have you had Mexican food?" Would go, "Bloody baby."
So she kills him like as soon as like he feels a kick or something. She's like, "All right, you're dead."
So her little
Sorry, Dad.
her little spines come out, don't it? Like a little
Oh
stegosaurus.
yeah, yeah.
We don't really see her kill him, do we? He just screams, and then when we see his body, it's just got a few little scratches on him. Doesn't look particularly.
Yeah, but again, Michael Madsen's like dead. Like he can.
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows straight away. I just sense it.
Yeah. I don't know how she gets into the basement.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because I don't remember how she gets out of the room, or does she burst through? Oh no, she does. She bursts through the wall and then runs off, and then they follow her down to the basement. And I must have looked away from the screen for just a second, and I didn't rewind it, so I don't know how this happened. But they literally go from a car park in the basement, and then there seems to just be a really weird cavern-like tunnel.
Apparently it opened in a recent quake or something. So like a fault.
They're like the sewer, and then Michael Madsen gets all of his heavy artillery out of his car. He's got like, is it flamethrowers?
Yeah.
Why has he got flamethrowers?
This is exactly the kind of thing you need to set up beforehand. You need to have a scene with Michael Madsen going, "Hey Ben, I've got some flamethrowers in the back."
Yeah.
And Ben's like, "Oh, calm
what are you
down.
going to need them for?
We don't need them.
Just wait till the end of the movie, mate."
Yeah, you need
And
to
they go,
set that shit
and
up.
then a moment where he goes, I did need this. After all, then I brought it.
But they didn't. They just fucking throw flamethrowers into the mix, and it just seems cool, but it's weird.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It seems like a very cookie cutter ending, this does, where they've just gone, right, Sil is now in full alien mode. Everyone's got flamethrowers, and we're in like an underground cave. How do we get there? Well, just walk there. It's like,
maybe because
go ahead.
It's obviously on a sound stage, so I'm guessing it's easier for them to set up shots and stuff for the This is where all the CGI stuff starts to kick in proper, right? She's turned into full non-tangible thing, non-fungible token now. So I think. Oh yeah, she gives birth. There's a peanut butter kid, and he
And there's
licks
oil.
eats an oil. The
Yeah.
peanut butter kid eats a rat in one go. Like it
Oh,
just goes
yeah.
like it's like a
I didn't like
cartoon.
that. I was
like
freaked
gone.
out by that because the kid's
Yeah.
face goes so really strange and the tongue comes out and eats the rat. I was a bit freaked out by that. It just looked a bit odd.
There's a bit where it cuts away from the kid and then back to him. It's obviously CGI now, and his arm's like twice as long.
Yeah.
For like no reason. I don't know why his
No,
arms are so
it's got-
long.
So he's a kid who looks about what, 4 possibly at this point, 4-year-old
Yeah.
kid. There's a bit where he like ducks behind like a little ledge, and when he comes back up, he's a massive alien. I thought that was Syl for ages,
Yeah.
and they like
It's a
kill.
little confusing.
They incinerate that. They incinerate the kid, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they're killing the main big alien or whatever. Maybe they'll take the boy home and do some experiments on him. No, that was the boy, and Syl then comes leaping out again. I think of
Yeah.
all she's gone to get pregnant.
There's
Give
a lot of
birth.
chaos. Yes, there's a lot of chaos around here. She sneaks up above Michael Madsen and nipple strangles him.
Yeah.
Forces him. It's like an aggressive motorboating in a way, I guess.
Forces him into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for some reason there's like a water pool and it's on fire.
Yeah. The oil.
That's the oil, yeah.
Oh yeah, is it oil? Is that right?
Yeah.
I missed that. I missed the whole oil bit. I
But
just
the thing
remember.
about an oil pool, like a subterranean oil pool, is I would expect as soon as the first little spark hit
Yeah.
that, for the whole thing to go up. But it doesn't. It's just like
No.
really localized, and it
Yeah.
seems okay.
And then
So they don't
Forrest
play
Whitaker's
with
like
that
hanging.
threat at all.
Yeah.
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 Forrest Whitaker's like hanging above it at one point as well. I can't remember what happens there, but he ends up.
We was hanging there for ages. Like, just climb up. Stop egging it. Just
Fall
get
in.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fall in. Just fall in. I mean,
it's-
you're all right. It's cookie cut. I can't even remember how it all kind of
No, it just
Well,
feels
when-
like.
finishes up.
When they
Oh, I
kill
know.
the boy, that's when Syl disentangles her aggressive motorboat, like reverse motorboat on Michael Madsen, runs through to get them. And I can't remember exactly what happens, but it ends up that Michael Madsen manages to get around to Forrest Whitaker, and they're trying to lift him up, and then Syl comes out, and it's like the moment where she's hanging off Forrest Whitaker, and
Yeah.
the fire's below her, and
And then
Mm.
Michael Madsen's got like a grenade launcher or something now, isn't he? Is that what he uses?
like a
Shoots
shotgun.
her in the head.
Sure, yeah.
He's an
Yeah,
absolute psychopath. He's a psychopath when you think about it. Who are you hiring? What, this bloke as the assassin?
Michael
Have you seen it?
Madsen.
Have you
why
seen
it's
his
called
boot?
that.
Have you seen his boot? It's full of Michael
His
Madsen.
boot.
Boot's full of
Yeah.
bad shit.
And that's how it ends. I think. There's a sting at the end. I don't know why. There's a rat alien. It's like a rat but alien.
I don't think that pays off in any of the sequels because the second movie,
I
I
don't
think
think I've
there's
seen any sequels.
there's a guy who's a species, and I think they've developed some sort of clone of Natasha Henstridge who like is a good guy species.
Oh yeah, because her
Okay.
name changes. She's not like she's
It's
listed on
Eve.
IMDb. It's Eve after
Eve.
the first one. Yeah.
I've definitely seen the second one. I don't think I've seen anything after that.
Are
I've
any of
seen- I've
the
seen the second-
ones good?
I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember either. I remember seeing the second one, probably back again when it kind of first came out, and it was probably somewhat forgettable. I was probably a little over Species by that point. Like the teenage me seeing Species 1 was excited. You know, this is what the pause button was invented for. This movie by Species 2. It
Your
was
pause
over.
button's just worn away, faded.
And the bad thing about pausing a VHS is it doesn't pause like, you know, if I had been around in Blu-ray time, it would have been perfect. But
That was lovely. That love.
There would have been
Nice
lots
one.
of.
I enjoyed that immensely.
I've sealed the deal.
That was great. Is there any jizz in this jacuzzi water? Well, we've got a specialist. We've got a
Mr. Black.
specialist with us.
Black light. It's like a liquid black light. It's like liquid black current light.
What What else? I was thinking this. What else has Natasha Henstridge been in? Because I remember her in Ghosts of Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really remember anything else.
A long time, but I quite like Ghost of Mars in a way.
I feel like I do, but I feel like that's going to be another movie I watch and don't enjoy as much as I did the first time around.
She was in the whole 9 yards.
Oh.
I just remember being in South Park. She was in a South Park episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's the only like.
Wait, I think I do as well. Now you say that, Mrs. Ellen, Miss Ellen. Yeah, it's a Tom's Rhinoplasty episode, which I think I had on VHS.
We paused in that one.
I was pausing that one over and over and over again.
Why the pause button was invented. South Park.
She was credited in that as the chick from Species.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now that you say that. Yeah.
Wow. There we go.
So, I've got some name game. It's quite difficult to do. It's always difficult with a one word name, but we'll see how you guys do. The first one, start off with an easy one. It's about a group of scientists and they're trying to track down and trap a killer alien seductress who's got alien eyeballs. So they're trying to track down a killer seductress, but she's got alien eyeballs. She's always peering through gaps.
Peakies?
Peakies, yeah.
Oh, that was quite good. It's better than the one I've actually got.
Oh.
Pearies?
Close.
Pisces.
Sees. She sees.
Fucking hell. Mother of God.
This one, just go with it. A group of scientists try to track down and trap a killer alien seductress before she successfully develops a theory for her upcoming university degree.
Feces.
Yeah.
Feces. Yeah.
Close enough. Yeah.
Feces.
Similarly, this one's about a group of scientists trying to track down and trap a killer alien seductress before she successfully goes to the toilet.
Feces.
Poo.
Successfully goes.
This next one is okay. Well done. The next one is like a group of scientists who try to track down and trap a killer alien seductress who seducts people by putting on a really nice pair of glasses. This one doesn't rhyme, but is very similar to the word species. Speckies.
Speckies. I'm always like a couple of letters off. Speckies.
Number one's about a group of scientists who try to track down and trap a killer alien seductress before she successfully applies for a loan for a fancy Japanese car.
You enjoyed that one. Loan for a Japanese car.
Yeah. She's trying to buy a car, basically.
Has it got anything to do with Japanese?
Japanese cars.
I can't even think. Hyundai. Is that Japanese?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know the answers to that one, Luke.
No, I don't know this
tell
one
me.
either.
Mitsubishis. And this last one is about a group of scientists who try to track down and trap a killer alien seductress who seducts people by turning herself into a soft French topping for crackers.
Cream cheesies?
Oh, close. She turns herself into a soft French topping for crackers.
Oh, French.
Cheesies. Is that what you said? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Cheeses?
Close. Very close, but not quite. The French bit is soft French topping.
Please give me the answer.
Yeah.
Brie cheese.
What?
Yeah. I mean,
Brie cheese.
No, I mean, say it again. Go on. Brie cheese. Mitsubishi's was good. I like that.
Yeah, Mitsubishi's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. We need to rate the film.
Oh. Mr. John Crinan, you can go first.
You guys give it like an A to F rating, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I have a lot of. I kind of, even though we have made fun of it, a lot of this film I still kind of like. I think it's fun. I think that it's what the cast in it is incredible.
Yeah.
Even if
Yep.
they are kind of playing odd characters, and like Ben was saying, like I can kind of imagine a spin-off show where the Scooby Gang like goes off and solves crime. Like I want to see that. It was obviously, I'm a big sci-fi horror fan, so having another kind of sci-fi horror movie that I like. It loses me in the final act, all the stuff that happens in the cavern, all the cookie cutter stuff that we were talking about, seeing Syl in the CG mode, just it really loses me. But up until that point, I think it's a relatively unique and somewhat interesting film. So I think I'm going to give it a solid B.
Whoa. Okay.
Interesting.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had high hopes because I remember really enjoying it as a kid, thinking I thought it'd be much scarier than it is. I mean, it's kind of solid. It does everything you kind of want in a movie like this. I'd go with C minus.
Ooh. I think I'm generally quite generous with scoring, but there you go. I'll stick with my B.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go for something similar to you, Luke. Maybe just a straight up C, because yeah, I've always had a lot of time for this film in all the times I've seen it before. The cast is stacked. It's kind of ridiculous, but that final act kind of just loses me on that, and I think there's a lot more glaringly obvious plot holes that were kind of frustrating me a bit in places. But yeah, Natasha Henstridge is great, and as a concept, the film is really good. So yeah, I'll go for just a middle of the road C for me though.
Cool.
I never say this, but I would say that this is a film that's ripe for a kind of reboot. I would be really interested to see like a female director take on this or something like that with new updated like effects, and I think it could be an interesting franchise that's ripe for a reboot, honestly. And I very, very rarely say that, but
yeah, I think I completely agree with you. A Snyder cut of Species, of Species maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could take it in a lot of different interesting ways, I'm sure. A lot of interesting like feminist ways that we could see this story portrayed as well. And it'd be a great breakthrough role for like an actress as well, or maybe someone more established. Let's do it. I mean, not us, but let's.
Yeah.
Or maybe us.
Cool.
Nice one.
What are we doing next week, Ben?
So next week we're doing Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. We kind of wanted to do it alongside Justice League. I don't think any of us really thought like how much we're gonna have to say about Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we've mentioned him a lot in this episode, so it seems kind of right to go and watch this. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that, which is always a good time. That movie.
Are you guys excited about Army of the Dead? Sorry, look.
Yeah, I think definitely am. Are you?
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. I mean, I love the concept, and I enjoyed Dawn of the Dead. So Zack Snyder can definitely do action. He can do a zombie movie. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Might try and watch 300 again this week. I've not seen it in a long, long time.
Good idea. Always a good time as well.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. If you join the Patreon, there's a Discord server as well for patrons and us guys, so feel free to come and join us there. Thanks to Kovac Cameron for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing, and remember to subscribe. Thanks to my co-host Ben for being a right horror dude, but also thanks to our guest host John Crinnan.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, John. Where can we find your stuff online? Where should we direct our listeners to find out more John Crinnan content?
I am on Twitter and Instagram at John Crinnan, which is JOHNCRINAN, and johncrinnan.com as well. Thank you.
Cool.
Awesome. Very nice.
Nice one. This has been a long one. I'm done. Completely. My brain is broken.
Ready for Betty Buys.
Yeah.
We did do 2 films. I didn't expect to be speaking for a couple hours on Species either, but we did Justice League as well for a fair bit. So that maybe that's better.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. I'm going to start recording.
Nice one.
Thanks.
Bye.